Stars are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Welcome in on a beautiful Tuesday. My man Anson Wells is joining the show, so we'll just start with that. Anson, how you doing today, man?
It is basketball season. It is
somebody's
all-star
excited.
time. Pistons are playing great.
Yeah.
I am hyped. I was gonna put the Lions in my rearview mirror and just go all Pistons for the next couple of weeks, but I figured I'd show everybody love because everybody's good now.
100%. Shout out to the Wings and the Pistons, both in playoff standing as of right now.
Shout out to Christian Dorsey for the shirt too. I know you know Mr. Dorsey.
I know CD. You ever spend time at the well?
He's good. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good
100%.
people.
Great to have. Shout out to my boy Christian. We went to high school together.
Really?
So what Christian was is we entered in Ricky as well as my man Tom Mazaway, P. Spivak in the booth. Christian basically what he did was, the guys that sell, or the people, I want to make this past, like they sell the candy in their bags, like they got like the bags full of the goodies, the sodas, the candies and things of that nature. You know what I'm talking about, Ricky. Like CD was 100%. Like Christian was that guy. He'd go to Costco or Sam's Club. You get a bunch of 9 layers of Laffy Taffies, the Skittles, the big packs, and whatever, the little small quarter juices, and he made a profit. So I've been watching Christian turn a profit for a very long time. So proud of him as a friend and entrepreneur. Shout out to and major Detroit sports fan.
Oh yeah.
You will see him on the sidelines at the Pistons game sidelines.
Always great seats.
I don't know how the hell you be getting these tickets.
No, I wondered the same thing.
Michigan State doesn't matter. Shout out to Christian Dorsey. But with that said, Tom Mazaway, I see the theme today was Red Wings.
Yes, sir.
I should have came with some Red Wings.
I got to turn the
What's going
page,
on?
man. I got to forget about the football season now and start looking forward. Red Wings, Pistons, and Tigers. So let's go. It's a nice day out. The sun was out. To me, that's a nice day before we get slammed with some snow tomorrow.
Braylon, you look good though, man. You're representing. I mean, this was your first outfit of choice, right? That you wore out the house today.
This isn't my first outfit of choice.
No,
I
isn't?
actually was gonna wear an olive green zip up, and that's why you're making a joke. Olive green, I just love the color. It took me years to get to that point, but olive green is a sexy color. I love that color, and for some reason, I'm always wearing green when we're doing the show.
Yes,
so this
sir.
was a purposeful wardrobe change because I said, I don't want to hear Aaron's mouth today. Well, no peer pressure. I'm just honesty. I live in the world of honesty. Pete, speaking of honesty, how are you doing, brother?
Good morning. Good afternoon, I should say, guys. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today? Everybody ready to go?
Everybody is ready to go, man. I'm excited for the show. Before we get to, like the Pistons, before we get to the Wings, I know you're excited about
Super Bowl. We got to talk to Anson
and that's
about
where
it.
I was going. The Super Bowl has come. Super Bowl has gone. Patrick Mahomes, no three-peat this way. Loses 40-22, and that number is it's a sham because the Super Bowl at one point was 34-0. First thought on the game. We've all commented on it. We all talked about it. What was your comment on the game? Go.
Vegas made a lot of money.
You can actually just run with this, to be honest.
I mean, listen, we all thought it was in the bag. The three-peat was written in stone already.
Not me.
But, listen, I'm looking at this Eagles team, and I hate to say it. I know Lions fans already have enough issues with SOA over here. I don't know any team that was beating this Philadelphia Eagles team. Because you look at it on paper, and healthy, our defense wasn't quite as good as theirs. Our offense on paper, top 5 offensive line, top 5 receiver room, top 5 running game. What's the X factor? You got Jalen Hurts, who I did call as the MVP to start the season, remember?
You did.
Didn't happen, but he was the MVP of what mattered. And when you got a guy that can do the tush push and get that 1 yard all the time, obviously we needed 1 yard on third down, but this is a guy that is just becoming unstoppable. And it's his arm, it's his leg, it's his leadership. Philadelphia was clearly the better team, and there was no full fights that Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift could try and make. He tried about 4 different times to start some fights. Listen, the referees never had an opportunity to get in this game. The better team came out there and handled business.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the defensive line was stellar. It starts with Jalen Carter up front, and he didn't have the 2 sacks that Josh Sweat had or the 2 sacks that Mitchell had, but he's the reason why those guys got those sacks. Vic Fangio, hell of a job by him. He dropped and what we talked about Anson yesterday is the Chiefs didn't have anybody that you feared. So they were allowed to play that defense. They didn't fear Juju Smith-Schuster. They didn't fear DeAndre Hopkins. They didn't fear an aging Travis Kelce. Say what you want to about him. You saw that early on in the game. And I think he was doing his hair like that, too, in the game. That's why he got cooked. But also, now where do you go with the GOAT conversation? Where do you go with the Patrick Mahomes and Brady and, Joe Montana, I feel like, came back into the equation. What are your thoughts with that?
They're the exact same they were last week, and it's a full body of work. Listen, I mean, you look at the struggles that Tom Brady had in some of his early Super Bowls, and he actually, I listened to the broadcast, he didn't score a touchdown in their first 8 Super Bowl appearances in the first quarter. They wasn't until that very last one. So he had his issues, but
did you ever see Tom rattled like you saw? Like you saw Patrick Mahomes on this past Sunday.
No. Did you see the shot that Mahomes took while he was running laterally and fell down on his side and slammed his head? Yeah. I've heard some thoughts that maybe he was
disoriented.
Concussed. It was a bad game for Pat Mahomes. I'm not taking him out of the GOAT conversation because the kid could win 5 more championships, but jumping to make him the GOAT just because he was going to win his 4th and his 3rd straight, to me it was irresponsible. What Tom Brady did over his entire career is very difficult for anyone to touch. And he still could have won this 3rd and not won another Super Bowl. And we would have called him a GOAT for a year, maybe 2. And then all of a sudden, well, he hasn't been back. And
you
then
start
by
to
the
realize
end of it, it's all about the body of work. Tom had longevity. Yeah. He won it with 2 different teams in 2 different conferences. And he won one as a 40-year-old. So until we see the final receipt for Mahomes' career, I don't think you can anoint him or take him out of the conversation.
Yeah, I think they need to start with the conversation altogether. I think what happens is, every 10 years or so, every 5 years or so, you have a guy that enters the equation and say, 100%, here comes Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl win, 2 MVPs. He's inching up that ladder. Aaron Rodgers doesn't win another Super Bowl. At least he hasn't now. We know he won't be part of the Jets, and we'll get into that later. But here's Drew Brees. Well, Drew Brees has 5,000-yard passing seasons, and now he's got the Super Bowl, and now he's got the Moxie. Falls short. He just can't deliver in the playoffs. We have to stop having this conversation. There is Tom Brady. There is Joe Montana, and there's a bunch of guys fighting in that 3rd-tier spot. So let's just stop having that conversation. Time has a way.
Hey, Brady in his 10 appearances was 7-3. Do you know his 3 losses combined?
15.
By 15 points.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes now 3-2. His 2 losses, 40 points, minus 40 points. And those 2 losses, the Bucs got after him and ran. They knew they had the perfect game plan, and so did the Philadelphia Eagles. And both of them had unbelievable defensive lines. That's how you beat this guy. You attack him. He didn't have very many weapons this year. He got that team to the end on his own. He did. Say what you want. D-Hop, by the way, called it a career today. He told Andy Reid, I'm hanging it up after 11 years. I'm happy for him that he got a touchdown in that game. That's how he goes out, right? He was a great receiver, probably a Hall of Famer when it comes down to it. And he's going to go out with a loss in the Super Bowl, but at least he made it there. So I'm happy for him. Patrick Mahomes didn't have anybody. He had, like Braylon said, he had Travis Kelce, who's been beat up.
Cameron Brate.
And really, he's not in this game 100%. You know what he's doing. He's doing TV shows. He's doing podcasts. He's got a superstar as a girlfriend. He's not 100% in this game anymore. So he's basically, he says he wants to play forever. I don't think he will. Jason Kelce. You think Jason Kelce was a little upset that Philadelphia won without him? I doubt it, because he's had such a great post-year career for him. But hell, if he would have played one more year, he would have had another freaking Super Bowl. But the Kelce brothers, they got it going. Who else on that team sticks out on the offensive side? Nobody. Rashee Rice went down, obviously.
And Xavier
Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th-round draft pick. A good back. He's not a great back. He's a good back. Other than that, they have nobody. Nobody on that team. He did this on his own. So Philadelphia was the much better team this time. And if the Lions had made it somehow to the Super Bowl, I think they would have beat the Chiefs. Hell, the Rams gave the Eagles the best shot. The Rams should have beaten the Eagles in the snow, outdoors in Philadelphia. Matthew Stafford down on the 15-yard line. And they ran out of magic at the end. They would have won the Super Bowl had they gotten in. Kansas City was a second-tier team this year.
I'll just say this because I don't feel like going into a back and forth. I don't think it's worth it. If the Kansas City Chiefs play against the Detroit Lions, that defense that we had would have gotten exposed. And it's as simple as that. Like, that defense we had with the injuries and the lack of players, Andy Reid would have exposed it. So I disagree there.
That's okay.
Yeah, and that's fine. We can disagree. That's what your show is for. I did want to ask you a question. Or not ask you a question. Matt stated it's the lack of talent around. I mean, not say lack of talent. You don't have a guy in his prime or a guy that's close to his prime or guys that can make plays that people fear. The Kansas City Chiefs have been riding this type of football for the last 5 years. Like, oh, well, Sammy Watkins. Oh, plug in Juju Smith-Schuster. Plug in DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, draft Rashee Rice. Yeah, we don't have any way. Oh, here's MVS. They've been playing this type of football and winning for a while. It finally caught up to them.
It did. And there's a lot of video on them. There's a lot of understanding of what they're trying to do. I think they were able to get away with such a positive, strong regular season based on their defense. Yeah. But, Hollywood Brown didn't work out. You lose Rashee. Kelsey's half in the stands. Your running game falls apart midseason to injury. And you're hanging your hopes on a first-round draft pick, a guy that, obviously has been running some good routes this year. But originally, when they drafted him, everybody around was thinking that this was going to be a stretch-the-field guy, a deep ball guy. And he had to be everything for that offense. So defense got him through a really poor division. And it caught up with them because that offense just wasn't good enough to win.
Let's stick with the defense, but let's switch the team. Let's switch to the Philadelphia Eagles. We just talked about a little bit Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter was a wrecking ball all season long, especially in the playoffs. Brad Holmes, stellar in the draft over the last couple of years. The conversation yesterday was, is it okay to say that he made a mistake in this particular as it relates to Jalen Carter or going after certain particular defensive players? I know they got Cooper DeJean as well as Quinyon Mitchell. I won't fault them for not getting Cooper DeJean, but maybe Quinyon Mitchell versus Terry and Arnold, I will look at that a little bit different. Were you with the Jalen Carter situation and what in 2 years has now happened for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I mean, it's tough. It's going to be a debate that Lions fans have for the rest of our lives, probably, especially if we can't get to the promised land and win a Super Bowl. Yeah. I believe that running backs can be found later in the draft. Impact interior linemen are just so damn difficult to get your hands on. And then it's, you see what they go for in the open market. That being said, this team needed an identity, and that was offense. They needed to fill seats. As much as this city has backed them, they weren't filling seats winning games 17-13. Yeah. This was the most exciting offense that we have seen since the Rams. So for me, this is how it's been built. I didn't really think that at the start of the season that 2024 was their true window. I've said for a while. I did think we were in a position to win it this year. But 2025 is a year that this whole thing really does come together. Can you find a guy that can replicate or at least bring you 80% of what a Jalen Carter does at number 28 in this draft? Probably not. Can you find Jahmyr Gibbs type talent in the third or fourth round of this stud running back draft this year? You probably could have. But hindsight's always 20/20. Yeah. It's hard to pick apart when Jahmyr's been so damn good.
Listen, Bray.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cut you off. Philadelphia picked defense, and they were flawless, almost flawless in their picks.
Yeah,
they did phenomenal. Just you said the guys.
About 5 years straight.
Now the Lions did the same thing on the offensive side. Gibbs, Laporta, St. Brown prior to that. Yeah. That's a big three right there. Big three on offense versus the big four that Philadelphia got on defense. And we might have reached a couple of times.
Yeah, if you're going to say 4, you better bump that number to by 8.
Yeah, I know. I know. Nolan Smith's another one that they stole.
N'Kobe Dean didn't even play.
I know, and he was the leading tackler all year. I mean, and they're going to lose some players this year, but it doesn't matter. They won the Super Bowl. They won their second Super Bowl in 3 years, their second Super Bowl win in 8 years. They have reached the big game many times. The Lion fans, we deserve to get in the big game. And that's why I'm going to bring it up. Again, Myles Garrett's out there. Max Crosby, who knows? Who knows? he might be available in a trade as well. Tom Brady is taking over that team. The Raiders are pretty bad. They're going to sign a veteran quarterback and draft somebody.
Yeah.
But the Lions right now are at the precipice. They're picking 28th this year. And from the next 3-4 years, we hope they pick from 28th to 32nd. We hope they pick 32nd. So you're not going to have high draft picks anymore. So now you're going to make your picks really count. And I don't know if a draft pick is worth it compared to a Hall of Famer that's in the wait, that has asked his team for a trade. I can't see how you don't go after this guy, and I'm talking about Myles Garrett.
Let me ask you, and I'm a piggyback Maz's question because you and I talked about this last week, the Myles Garrett thing and how you felt about it. So let me add on to Maz's conversation. After watching the Super Bowl, does it change? And it doesn't have to be Myles Garrett. There are other guys that are on teams that you can go get, whether it's Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby, potentially. After watching the Super Bowl and watching the dominance of the defense and how they were able to corral Patrick Mahomes, does it now have you like, maybe we need to get one of these guys?
Who did the Philadelphia Eagles give 2 first-round picks up for on their defense?
Shoot.
It's a trick question. They didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
Well-
there is nothing in the body of work
Yeah.
of Dan and Brad that would suggest they are willing to give up multiple first-round pieces for a one-year player. Sure, we've seen our...
He's not a one-year player.
He's not a 1 year.
You would have to
Two?
sign him.
You
would have to sign
Okay.
him.
Well, so now there's another thing that we haven't seen happen. Is
I can
these-
answer your question. If you go on the offensive side of the ball, that happened. A.J. Brown.
Okay, but what did they give up for AJ? Wasn't it just
2
one?
first rounds.
2? Was it? I thought it was
2
just
first
one.
rounds and then he signed. I could be wrong. I'll look
We'll
it
have
up.
to look it
but-
up.
I'm looking it up.
That's an interesting thing. I didn't know that they had. I forgot about AJ, but
Mm-hmm.
you look at what this regime has done, and they aren't willing to give foreign players,
Yeah.
players from the other 31 teams, 3-year deals or longer. They're not breaking the bank for any incoming free agents. And they are not trading for guys that have to be on a large contract or on their last year of their deal. When you can get a guy locked in for 4, hopefully 5 years because he's that good out of the first round,
Yeah.
you can re-sign your great guys. You can work within the salary cap, and you can continue to add players that are going to be your foundation going forward. I'm really tired of this. This is the trade for Max Crosby, trade for Myles Garrett talk is on the same level as who's the GOAT, Pat or Joe
No,
or
it's not,
Tom.
because it's out there.
Well, I get
He's
that.
asked for a
Well,
trade.
No, they're all out there. Then all of it's out
But
there.
that's just
But the
that's
fact,
just opinion.
Okay,
what
I
you're
get that,
talking
but
about.
do you really think that there is a number? This isn't going to be a Luka trade. They're not going to just talk to the Lions and say, "What do you want to give up?" Okay, we'll take it. They're going to take him to the highest bidder, and the highest bid on Myles Garrett will be too rich for Dan and Brad, based on how they've built this team so far.
Let me ask you another question. And Maz, you can jump in after this. Here we go. Maybe you don't go after a player like Myles Garrett. Maybe you don't go after Max Crosby, the guys that already exist, the guys you're going to have to pay buku bucks for and be opposite your Aiden Hutchinson, who you clearly want to be the identity of that defensive line. Fine. Do you bundle up a package to go get Mason Graham in the top 5? Who's still going to be on a rookie contract? Now, Mason Graham, he's going to be the best defensive,
Absolute
the best
menace.
inferior.
He's a menace.
The best defensive interior guy in this draft. We saw what he did against Alabama. You saw what he did against Ohio State. He's projected right now somewhere between that 5 to 7 round. We've seen him package deals before to move up. Is this one?
It works better for your team. I know that Myles Garrett is the sexy name, and he is a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, no doubt. But where you're getting him, what you have to give up, and then what you have to pay him.
So Mason Graham. now.
Yeah, because we've seen them do that twice.
Yeah.
We've seen them move up for J-Mo. We've seen them move up into that 12 spot twice using another first-round pick because they know, or they feel they know what they're getting based on their scouting, based on the fact that this kid's never been a pro, he's coming from college, and he fits our system, which your boy Graham, that's a Dan Campbell guy right there. But for me, I just don't see this team like I've been reading all this stuff on Twitter about, well, you are a startup and now you're this, and it's like, come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is a long-term business company that hasn't seen success for 70 years. And I know that Lions fans hate hearing this from me, but when they sat down in that room 4 years ago, yes, they talked about Super Bowls, but more importantly, they talked about perennial playoff contenders. And that is... there's a real quick way to dry that up, and it's to trade for major players using your future draft capital. Just look where the Lakers are going to be when LeBron's gone.
Maz, I know you're up next. Just think about it like this, though. Before the season started, Brad Holmes, as well as Dan Campbell, at the podium, the whole training camp at the start of the season, what did they say the goal was this past season? Said it was Super Bowl.
Sure.
No, they said Super Bowl. They didn't even win a playoff game, Maz.
Rando Smalls on the chat, super chat. Thanks, Rando. Bottom line, do you give up 2 firsts and a third, or you let Brad draft those 3 picks? I'm going to mix it in with what Anson said. I would do it in a minute. And I would do it to get Myles Garrett, not another rookie. I'm sorry, not to get another rookie. I don't think you can move up into the top 5. I just don't. I believe you have a better chance of making a deal with the Browns, who don't have any first-round picks, but they do, but they gave up 3 of them to get Deshaun Watson. I believe that is your best bet. And the reason I'm saying this is because that window, it's open. You have a great team. But how long is it open? You want it, that's how you win it. You go out and get the best guy for the money, and it's Myles Garrett. Do I love Mason Graham from Michigan? Of course I do. And would I take him? Sure. But is he going to be Myles Garrett? We don't know. We already know that the gold jacket is going to Myles Garrett eventually. I don't say you fool around with anything. I say you go out and you get this guy.
Matt, what did the Eagles do 2 years ago?
They lost the Super Bowl.
Okay, and what did they do last year? They lost in the first round of the playoffs, correct?
They did.
Did they trade all their draft picks to go and get a $30 million guy?
No, they knew they were one.
They nailed their draft picks.
They nailed it that year with Davis.
Yeah.
They knew this is what we were missing for the Super Bowl. So that April, they went out and got Davis, and that won them the Super Bowl.
So technically,
I mean, go ahead.
no,
So yes, they did go out and get their guy.
they drafted Jordan the year.
That they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they drafted Jordan the year they lost, and then they went and got Carter.
Yeah.
Right.
Last year.
Carter.
To your point,
That's what I meant. Jalen Carter. I don't know why I'm always mixing them up.
Because
I didn't know who you're talking about. I'm like Googling.
Yeah. They drafted Jordan Davis,
My bad.
13th overall. No, you're fine. 13th overall.
That's
and
what
then the
I meant.
following year,
Carter.
They took Jalen Carter.
And then signed Zach Bond, who was the
Free
number
agent.
1 IDP defender in football.
Yeah, that's a little- that's a
151
little bit of
tackles. What, Kenyon and Cooper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm talking about is the way that this team has been built suggests nothing to prove that. There's nothing that suggests that these Lions are going to make a monster trade for a 1-year guy that they have to re-sign on an exorbitant contract. When there's 3 guys we just talked about last week that we may have to give up one of them. So to me, giving everything up for this 1-year opportunity is short-sighted, in my opinion. It is the desperate, burnt lover that Lions fans are. We are so greedy and so starved for a championship that we are willing to forego a 10-year future of excellence for that one player that supposedly puts us over the top. Listen, Myles Garrett isn't beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Probably isn't even beating the Commanders. I know you guys said last week that if Myles Garrett's on that line, we beat the Washington Commanders. I don't know if that's true. All right? Now, a fully healthy team with Myles Garrett, certainly, I think we get by Washington. I just don't think that this Dan and Brad combo has shown us anything to suggest that they are breaking the house for a guy on an expiring contract.
Listen, we got another super chat.
well,
Fix your face. I'm no expert by any chance, but I would rather swing and miss on a trade for Garrett rather than draft. Our time is now. Thank you for that. Hey, look how close we are. That's all I got to say. Look how close we are.
I just feel like it's been built over 4 years, so I think that this is I don't want to call it experimental, But I feel like this is a good time to use the 46 in cap space, use the late draft picks that you have accrued because your team is a better team and you're not picking in the top 10. You know, man, and I always say, maybe it's not Myles Garrett, but I'm saying, like, you better do something. Because if you see the quarterbacks that win Super Bowls, excuse me, let me not say it like this. When it's not Patrick Mahomes or not Tom Brady or it's not insert guy here, it's a defense that is unlike any other. And I think he is a piece. And if it's not him, you got to find something. Because defense, unpopular to contrary belief, they still win Super Bowls.
I haven't done my studying yet for the upcoming draft. And we'll start having our draft experts on.
This is O-line detack.
There's a lot of defensive tackles and also defensive linemen out there. I heard that there are a lot out there. That's all I know. But is there a Jared Verse out there? I don't know. Because they got him. The Rams got him. Automatic Rookie of the Year. And he made that defense what it is, man. Is there a Jared Verse out there? I don't know yet.
Not at the end of the first round.
My issue is this. This is the one issue that I have. You got to have guys that exude a little bit of dominance. You got to have guys that are different type of guys. When the Lions were struggling against the Washington Commanders, you got all these all-stars on offense. You know, you got all these. Who was the guy that was trying to corral these guys? Who was the big-name player or the energy? Sometimes it doesn't come from a big-name player. Sometimes it's not a Hall of Fame player. But who was the guy that was yelling at the defense? Like, who was the guy that was trying to get Jared Goff, who clearly said he hit his head, clearly was sitting on the bench and didn't know what the F was going on? Amon-Ra St. Brown, as much as he is as a leader, like, everyone was silent. And that comes with all-star, all-pro energy. Like, you got to have a guy that's been in the league. I know Myles Garrett only has one playoff win. He's only been to 2 playoffs. But it's the energy above all. It's not the Super Bowl energy, and I need you to have that experience. And, hey, in this moment, what is it like? Nah, it's just somebody saying, yo, what's up? What we going to do? We here. We made it. Are we resting on the fact that we made it? Are we, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have that. And I think Myles Garrett or whoever else can provide that. If you go through the draft, now you have another bunch of kids coming in at 21 that are looking for guidance. Who's that guy that's going to guide them?
I mean, to me, it's Aiden Hutchinson. I don't have an issue with him being the leader at all. I don't have a problem with Jared Goff, non-concussed, being the leader either. A.J. Brown was acquired for the 18th pick overall, as well as the 101. So extremely late supplemental third or the beginning of the 4th round.
Okay.
All right.
Fair.
That was in 2022. Since then, I don't know of any major trades that they've made. I look at this team, and they've done almost exact same thing that the Lions have. 2 years or a year ago, they make it to the Super Bowl just like we make it to the NFC Championship game. The next year, disappointing early end in the playoffs. Do they freak out and decide, hey, we're going to trade our future for this major guy? No, they basically gave up a first-round pick because they wanted a receiver with that number 18 pick. But they get a guy that they know is going to come in and produce. Obviously, first-round wide receivers don't have the same hit rate that first-round defensive tackles and defensive linemen seem to have. Yeah. So for me, the Lions, if you can find a trade where you can bring in a Trey Hendrickson and give up a first and a third or a fourth, let's do it. But when you're talking about the charge that's going to come to bring a Myles Garrett in versus the other 30 offers you're going to have from the other teams that are trying to acquire him, again, this isn't going to be a Luka, don't call anybody else, don't shop this player deal. They're going to shop the hell out of that kid, and they're going to find the best offer that they can find. Now, if we can somehow convince Brady or Cleveland's pretty influenceable, into taking a chance on a Hendon Hooker where you don't have to give up another first and you can do a first with a Hendon Hooker and maybe a third or something like that, I'm all in. I just don't think that's enough, Maz. Bray, I don't think that 2 first-rounders is even enough to get this kid. And for me, the track record of Dan and Brad, I don't want to take their picks away.
This is true. I mean, the track record of Brad has been really good in the first round. We've talked about the list of, all-star players that they have on that team, but there are some misses that they've had. And now that those picks are later in the draft, like, it's not the time to say, oh, we'll trust the draft picks and make it. There have been some late-round picks. Look at the draft last year. Now that the season's over, I understand Ennis Rakestraw was injured, but was he the pick? Terrion Arnold. Did we reach on Terrion Arnold because the school that he went to was Alabama and we had Branch and Gibbs and J-Mo? So, like, now it's like you had an okay draft last year. We got a couple players we wish we may have had. this is an interesting draft. Like, you can't afford to miss. And I just don't want to stake my future on some late picks and Brad's magic when there's players out there that we can do something for. So it's a great conversation, and we'll see what happens. I think we'll know more in the next coming weeks, but the windows close quick. Like, I feel like obviously the Eagles have had this stretch run, but they've had some period scenarios like, we got to rebrand and figure some things out. The 49ers, now the run has been, an 8-year run, if you will, but it is ending ugly.
And that's a team that has over and over traded future capital for big-time players. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, and what they did this year was lean on the draft and bring in great free agents. Championship.
Yep. Howie Roseman is top of the line, GM. Brad Holmes is chasing him.
Yes, sir.
Also, all right, since we're going to add that in, I love that. Don't be afraid to add players based on what you think they might be there. Because Howie Roseman is going after dogs, monsters.
Yep.
Like, if we're gonna have some common ground, fine. Just do me a favor. Don't try to throw away players because, they might be this and they might be that. Your locker room is good enough now.
Yes.
Your culture is good enough now.
Amen.
Your culture can bring guys in and say, you know what? No, I like being here. I want to do the things necessary to become that type of player. Start looking at some other players. Hey, you know what? Let's get that guy Jalen Carter another. Let's give him another bring back. Hey, you know what? Let's bring in Kayvon Thibodeau. And I'm not using him because I like Aiden Hutchinson. Just more so saying why they didn't pick on Kayvon Thibodeau. This is a great conversation. You want to get a quick message in for Les Stanford?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, Anson, tell us about Les Stanford.
It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 a month, or try out the 25 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 a month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer as well, EV SUV for only $789 a month. 0 security deposit, 0 due at signing, 0 first payment, and 0 acquisition fee. That's right. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out that massive inventory at the Sign and Drive event. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. LesStanford.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
you guys listen that you need to get in shape, and Planet Fitness is the place that you got to do it at. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you, man. It's a clean gym. Trainers are on deck waiting for you. They're on standby. Come on, man. And they have fitness that fits into your budget, man. They're not trying to charge you an arm and a leg. Just a finger or so, if you get my drift. Planet Fitness and fitness is essential, so you need to come on down to the gym because they want you to be a part of what they're making. Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential.
Finger muscle looking.
You said what?
How's your finger muscle looking?
Well, you got to ask my, never mind. It's not, Valentine's Day is coming up, man. You know, I got to get ready.
Well played, my friend. Well played.
I got to get my lifting going. We were talking about the Lions. I feel like that was a good conversation. Welcome back in. I think the conversation was good. I think we're at the crux of that. So let's switch. I know Maz will get a kick out of this one. The viewership for the Super Bowl. The numbers are finally in. A lot of people disagree, say they're inflated, fake numbers. I don't believe so. I think we had this conversation. People are going to watch the Super Bowl. 126 million viewers throughout all streaming platforms and cable. The highest Super Bowl watched in Super Bowl history. Maz, I come to you first. You've watched a lot of Super Bowls in your time. What does it say to you that the worst Super Bowl ever could be the most watched Super Bowl ever?
Well, it's the NFL, man. The NFL gets more popular by the years. Although their ratings were down this year, they're still always the top-rated show of the week. And by the way, of the always. Yeah. And the Super Bowl, by the way, updated their numbers. It's 127.7 million people watched that Super Bowl. So it went up another couple of million. So it's the Super Bowl, man. It's everybody's day. Super Sunday. I don't know how much of the pregame you guys all watched and everything, but a lot of people still like taking that Monday off. In 2 years, by the way, the Super Bowl 61 will be on Valentine's Day. And guess what follows
I saw that.
President's Weekend comes right after that. People are going to be off for President's Day weekend. We all said it was going to happen.
Ladies.
And there it is.
Ladies, hear us well. Hear us well. Saturday will be your day.
Yes.
Or Friday will be your day.
Correct.
Maybe even Monday
will
be your day. Sunday, come on now.
Unless they want to go out for breakfast or lunch.
I don't even have that for you because I like to watch the I like to wake up in my boxers and I like to turn the TV on and I just like to kick back and watch all the old Super Bowl, all the moments, all the interviews. It's a part of the day. Ricky, jump in on this. True.
No doubt.
No, you ain't lying about that.
No doubt about it, man. It's only going to get bigger every year. That's just the way it is, man. As bad as that game was, I'm sure a lot of people tuned out in the fourth quarter. Probably wasn't a great time to have your commercials running in that fourth quarter. Yeah, but it was still, I watched it. It's football.
6.2% tuned out during the halftime show.
Did they?
This is true.
Another debate that is massively tiring. Who's the GOAT? Trade for Myles Garrett and Kendrick Lamar. Oh, my goodness.
No, I agree with you. At the end of the day, we talked about it yesterday. Look, like, if you didn't like the Super Bowl, like, there's no beef with me. There's no problem. I think because it was a solo rap artist, like, there was going to be a lot of disconnect. There was a lot of nuance. Sure. There was a lot of symbolism and meaning that you really got to be tapped in. So in that regard, I think a lot of people tune in. And it's fair because you don't know and you don't have to know this artist. It wasn't, some easy to follow Usher, his catalog is bigger. It was a training situation. So we talked about it and I think we had a good level conversation. If you liked it, you liked it. If you did, you had that right too.
I love that you guys were able to have a level conversation because none of the conversations I've seen online about that are anything less than completely divisive.
That's because they're trying to turn it into something like more than what it was.
Thank you.
Like,
Amen,
if you didn't
man.
like it, you're racist, and that's not what it was.
Listen, I hate the new hip hop movement, the auto tune mumble rap.
You ain't the only one.
Yeah, for
I
sure,
hate it
for
too.
sure. I gotta say there was some cool symbolism in the choreography of it. I know that it really hit home for a lot of people, but the people that are making this into educated, not educated, cultured, not cultured, black, white, it's a halftime show, dog. Yeah. Like, I'm not watching country halftime shows. I watch a little bit of Kendrick Lamar, not because I follow him. I'm not a fan of Drake. I like the fact that he puts Drake in his space, so I kind of wanted to hear if a certain word got dropped, which a lot of people wanted to.
did.
But there is a disconnect because there's a whole lot of people 50 and up that are like, who's Drake?
Don't worry, because next year will be the whitest artist in America.
Oh, you already know.
I promise you
You
that.
already know.
Man, 100%. I like Morgan Wade.
Donnie Osmond's coming back next year.
You know what? Rest in peace, his brother.
Well, the guys there in
That's right,
San
Wade
Fran
has-
next year, that's Metallica territory.
What would be the
That's Metallica
what
territory.
would be the least divisive artist that they could put that would just satisfy everyone?
He's already done it in Super Bowls. Bruno Mars.
Right.
Bruno Mars offends no one.
Yeah, Bruno's great.
Bruno offends nobody. Justin Timberlake doesn't offend.
Ooh, JT, I love me some JT.
Yeah, he doesn't offend. That's my girl's favorite. Like he touched her hand during the concert, and I was like, I'm gonna let it slide.
He's coming to Grand
I'm
Rapids
gonna let
here.
it slide. No,
I think he's going to be in G-Rap next week.
He's supposed to be at LCA.
Oh,
but
yeah, next week, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Grand Rapids for sure, I know, because my kids are going.
Cheap tickets, I bet.
Here, you know
They
what
are
wasn't-
cheap.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Ooh, tell
My
me
kid's,
another
going
thing.
for, my kid's going for $60.
Bleeding or
To
nose
Grand
up
Rapids?
top.
Grand Rapids.
You sure it's Justin Timberlake?
Yes.
Van Andel?
All right,
Yeah.
I need to take a look at that.
Yeah.
He was in New York. He was in New York showing his ass.
I was a concierge for
I was surprised that he still did it. We went to the show. So me and my girl, I told you, he's a big fan. We went to the show in July in Cleveland. We drove down there and went to that show, and we were like, "Oh, is he gonna cancel? Is he not?" But they were still able to do that show. I think a show or two after that is where it kind of was like, "We're going."
Hey, Ricky, is your mic on? Ricky,
Yeah.
is your mic on? Because people are saying they haven't heard you.
I don't believe it is, sir.
Make sure your mic is on.
Nope.
No, it's actually not. You might be in that. The mix minus might be off.
All right,
We'll figure it out.
While Ricky figures that out, Tom Mazaway. I looked at this and I got pissed again, pissed all over again. The Eagles made $171,000 for the player. 100. I'm talking about the players. The Eagles players made $170,000 actually, and coaches. It's the same for coaches and players
Nice.
in the playoffs.
It's a nice payday.
Because there is no, unless you have incentives, there is no pay for playoffs, like in your contract. So everyone gets the same amount for each round. So when I was playing with the Jets, I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, I get $145,000 if we lose. You get $75,000 if we win. That's
Counting them out.
That's free money that you don't have to account for. Well, the Eagles $171,000 and the Chiefs $96,000 for them.
Not bad, huh?
That's a good cheese.
Yeah, for playing the game, and it's a nice little bonus. Here's a check for $171,000, guys. Plus, here's the Lombardi Trophy. Congratulations.
You know what
That's
most people are
a hell
gonna
of
do
a
with this
year.
money, Miles? That this is their off-season
play money.
vacation money.
Yeah, it's play
Right.
money.
This is taking
Colombia.
your parents, your family, your wife, your children,
Bitcoin.
your boys. Like this is straight trip vacation.
XRP, baby.
And you
Buy
know,
your XRP in Bitcoin.
the
Oh,
whole
well,
Eagle, the entire Eagles roster could donate that to the dunk contest and actually get people involved that we
wow.
care about.
There you go.
Bam.
I figured my
I'm
mic
good.
out. I figured
good
my
on
mic
that.
out.
I'm keeping my money in my
Yeah, there you go.
pocket.
That's
That ain't my
levels
sport.
now.
Are you on now, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
There
on.
he
There you go. Let's hear it for Ricky, everybody. Everybody.
It would be the audio guys whose mic
Yeah.
is messing up.
Nice job, sound
Good
guy.
thing I figured it out. We good. We good.
All right.
Should I
man,
re
it's
should
all
I
good.
re-say everything I said before or
We got great lip
Yeah, I go
readers in
through
the chat.
everything from our
from the
one.
beginning?
2 years ago,
Nice sweatshirt, by the way.
I love
like
that
it.
logo.
Thank you.
I love that.
I saw your phone
Nice
case.
logo.
That's the 60th anniversary merch.
Well,
That's the 60th anniversary merch. 2 years ago, Detroit Lions played against the Kansas City Chiefs on opening night, and we really feel like even though we had started the momentum before, that was a game that really got this thing rocking and rolling. They won. Brian Branch huge in that game that started pick 6. Could the Eagles, and the Lions play this year on opening night? What are your thoughts on Lions, Eagles potentially as season openers?
Well,
September 4th, man.
the NFL likes money. We know this.
The NFL likes the Lions.
Is there a
Raiders.
better matchup in the NFC?
I'll go over them with you.
I got one. But realistically, like,
Funny you
no,
said
you don't even have to go over the matchups, Maz. Who is the third best team in the NFC? I can't even really name them.
But I don't.
Maybe the commies.
Commanders.
But coming in, it's the Eagles and the Lions, and everyone knows that, and everyone
Rams.
wants to see that.
Well,
Not the Rams. Stop
That's
it.
who they wanted to see in the
third.
NFC Championship game. They didn't want to see Eagles and Commanders. They wanted to see Eagles Lions. So that's what's going to be. Guys, I'm telling you, opening night, NBC, it's going to be Eagles and the Lions. Lions going to go to FedEx Field and the Link, excuse me. FedEx Field, Washington.
In
The
prime
Link,
time.
In prime time. They're going to be there for the second year. out of the last 3. Here's the other teams that Philadelphia road opponents. They have the Bears, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Rams, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders. The only other game I see in there is the Commanders, maybe the Rams. It's got to be the Lions and the Eagles on opening night.
Yeah.
You want to see a rematch of the NFC Championship game? I don't.
Yeah, because it's not going to be the same team. Jaden Daniels will be 9 months removed from the loss that he had against the Eagles at CenturyLink. They also would have gone through the draft. They also would have added pieces during the offseason. And this is a rivalry. As much as we want, I want to see the Lions and the Eagles, like, if we get to that point. Like, if we get to that point, let's see. I want the Lions 4:15 on a Sunday. You want to give them a primetime game to start the season? Fine. Give them a 4:15. I don't want a night game. Night games are typically, they're more annoying. Like,
Why?
Because you got to wait for the games. It throws off your rhythm. It doesn't happen.
Oh, for the player. I thought you were talking about personally.
No,
watching the
no, not myself. No,
got you.
I'm good whenever. But my schedule's free that Sunday. No, but just thinking about for the Lions, man, and the players. Now it's an 8 o'clock game. Now my rhythm is a little thrown off. Now it's a little bit later. And then for the Lions, this season is going to be a major one for them. I'm thinking about everything in its totality. To start off the season against the Eagles, I just don't want to do that. I think the Lions need a 4:15 game. I like the Commanders game. I think it's a divisional rivalry. I think Jaden Daniels is the future. This is your guy. Jaden Daniels is the future. I would like, if I was a non-Lions guy, I want to see the future. If the Lions so happen to get to the NFC Championship and they face the Eagles, then fine. But division rivalry, like, it's hot. I just something to that.
I like that as an alternative. Still the Lions and still the NFC East, but the rematch. Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Commies, Lions.
I
4
like that.
o'clock, prime time, 1
Yeah.
o'clock. Either way, that's a sexy way to open the season.
No, but the Eagles are opening the season.
The Eagles is Eagles.
Those
Those
are
are
Super Bowl
it's
champions.
Eagles, and then one of those teams.
It'll be the lie downs, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
That's the game I think everyone would want to see. How about you, Ricky?
Yeah, no, I say do the Super Bowl rematch. I'm always down for Super Bowl rematch start the season. I'm sorry. I'm a Lions fan, but still, let them play it out again. Let's see what
No,
happens.
Chiefs aren't on their
Right, they're not
on their thing.
Who's on the
they can't.
Eagles aside from the NFC East teams? Who's on their
Raiders, Broncos.
Well, then I'm gonna take the Lions. Then why can't they?
It's Bears, Broncos, Raiders.
That's crazy.
Rams, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders.
Right.
Those are your choices.
I wouldn't mind seeing. Well, let me not say that.
Commanders.
It's going to be Lions.
Put me down for the Commanders. Yeah.
I can maybe see that too, but
Fiddle. I'm grabbing it. Hang on.
it's going to be tough, man. The Lions are great television, and they are a profitable franchise for the NFL to put on display.
Hey.
We all got cheated a little bit out of heavily here in Detroit, but everybody got cheated out of watching that offense in the playoffs. Jaden Daniels is obviously the new golden boy of the league, but man, that's the game. The Eagles and the Lions. Period.
You give me Myles Garrett, I want to see that game.
That's a good point too.
What about Mason Graham?
I want to see that game.
Okay.
I want to see that game.
Here's
I'm
the
good with
Eagles'
that
opponents.
too. Tom Mazaway.
I'm looking forward to April. I want the draft to come already, but Lions got a new coach today.
They did.
It's not official yet, but it's going to be. They are hiring Iowa State assistant head coach Tyler Roll as an offensive assistant coach. So I'm not sure who he's replacing, but they're adding Tyler Roll, who used to be the offensive coordinator over at North Dakota. But last year he was on Iowa State, Matt Campbell and all of those guys at Iowa State. So comes from a good program. So the Lions going into the college ranks to grab another offensive assistant.
This doesn't necessarily do anything for me. I do like that.
I don't even know who the guy is, but I'm just throwing it out there.
His position is Tanner's position. That's what Eggstrand or whatever his name
He was
is.
passing game coordinator.
That's pretty much what they're simply lining him up for. Like I don't know if this moves the needle for me, anything like that. But I will say, how crazy is it how hot Mark Campbell's name was 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Like Mark Campbell was in line as the head coach of Iowa State. He was in line next up for the major job. He passed on it, waited for 1 year, and he hasn't had a good season since.
I think one of the more exciting things and intriguing things that we're going to get a chance to look at every offseason for this Detroit Lions team is the deep coaching bag that Dan and Brad have. Like, these guys went through and capitalized on all of their personal relationship with former players, and now they've got to get creative. But they got creative in the middle of their first year, letting go of some guys and, taking over some offensive play calling and
Aaron Lynn.
and moving some guys
Aubrey
up.
Pleasant.
I have so much faith in those two as leaders of men, to quote Stick. Not only do you guys want to follow them, but they understand how to identify strong human beings that are able to lead. So I imagine this guy in the next year, by 2026, people will be like, oh man, the kid from Iowa State's great. When he ends up getting elevated into another job here as maybe assistant offensive coordinator in 2027. Lions and their coaching staff is the least of my worries.
Tom Mazaway, which non-playoff team could you see winning the playoff game next season?
I can see a couple of them.
Oh, run me through the list.
I'm going to run you the list first. These are the ones I put up there. The Bears, the Bengals, then it drops off a little. The Jags, the Dolphins, the Seahawks, the Falcons, or somebody else. Those are the teams that didn't make the playoffs. There was a lot that didn't make the playoffs, but I think I could see the Bears. I could see the Bengals for sure getting to the playoffs and winning a game. Anson, which non-playoff team do you think? Because there's going to be somebody that wasn't in the playoffs this year that's going to make it and then win a game.
The Bengals really should have and could have been in the playoffs this year. I would certainly say that they are. I could chalk one up already for them. Another one that I would say would be the Dolphins. If Tua doesn't go down for 5-6 weeks with yet the 17th concussion, I look at that as a team that they've got everything that they need to be able to be back in the playoffs, and they've got an electric offense that can win a game. But I'm looking at the Bengals. I know I'm not looking at the Bears. I can look at the best first-year coaches, and Nagy was the Bears head coach. In his first year, he won 14 games, which is the most ever by a first-year coach. But most first-year coaches don't do great. And he's got a second-year quarterback who is a catfish. And there's a guy from a certain school in Ann Arbor named J.J. McCarthy who will be under center in Minnesota, and Minnesota yet again will finish ahead of the Bears in this division. So no, the Bears will not win a game in the playoffs with your buddy Catfish Williams over their mess.
You don't think they'll even get in?
No.
Go ahead, Bray.
Over who?
Yeah.
Over who?
I don't know. Maybe the whole division can get in the playoffs.
Maybe. If we could beat each other up real bad, it'd be tough to get 3 wild cards out of one division.
Probably.
Bengals and Bears for sure. I think Bengals Bears is the one I choose. And one that's not on here, I would say, is the Jets. And this isn't me being a homer. It's not me. This is not me being a homer. Hold on. This is not me being a homer. 3 weeks ago, who are you talking about as the best coach in the NFL? Oh my God, Aaron Glenn, this, and we're gonna miss him. And Aaron Glenn is that good, and I believe in him and getting that locker room together. Look, we just talked about defense. That defense is real.
Right.
They didn't want to play for that guy that was there. They didn't like what was going on with Aaron. There was a lot of Michigan guys. You see, they're moving Aaron along. Like, he's going to come in, he's going to turn that ship around. And when you have a defense that's that good, Reed is a damn good DB. Sauce Gardner had it off here. He's still who he's supposed to be. C.J. Mosley. Like, they have a really, really good defense. Quentin Williams, his brother plays for them as well. And that offense, you keep some of those players. You got 2 running backs. I know you like Braylon Allen. It's a guy that you bring up all the time. I believe in Aaron Glenn, and I don't believe in that conference.
So in New York, do they call it Ecto-Cooler-Aid?
Oh.
What do they call that you guys drinking over there?
So you don't believe in Aaron Glenn anymore?
I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, Bray.
They'll find one. Sam Darnold started season with Minnesota Vikings won 14 games.
Right.
Kirk Cousins.
Like, there's a couple.
Yeah, he looked great this year.
There's a couple guys on the list that can provide some professionalism, and you can put them in the right system.
I think that they will be a better team. It's a tall order to take that roster to the playoffs. Much less win a game. I believe in Aaron Glenn in New York a lot more than I believe in Ben. What do we call him? Ben Laden?
Benedict Johnson.
Ben Laden.
I ain't going that far.
That's wild.
Osama Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Osama Ben Johnson. That's right. So no, I think that neither of them will be making the playoffs in their first year as a head coach.
Can I add one then there?
Please do, sir.
It's just one team that I don't think that we've heard about. And Bray, I've learned a lot from you working with you over the past year and a couple months.
Thank you.
Where are your Atlanta Falcons, man?
So
that
it's-
would be a wonderful team.
it's-
I think that would be my team to make the playoffs next
Speaking
year.
of
I'm gonna show you
Agreed.
so you don't think I'm lying.
Absolutely.
Braylon walks to the TD booth.
Now, I got them winning their division because I think Tampa's time has come. But
can I say
But I
something?
don't think that they win a game.
It's okay.
This is what I say. It's funny you said that. I showed Pete I had the Falcons circle. To be honest, I was a coward, didn't choose them because I didn't necessarily believe strongly in that
Because
pick.
you believe them winning their division, but you don't believe them getting
That
past
part.
the Eagles or
That
the
part.
Lions in the first week of the playoffs.
That part. Look, I believe in Michael Penix Jr. I said it last year. I understood why they made the pick. Like, I argued with everybody in here. Like, I understood. I said he was going to start the season. So I believe in Michael Penix Jr., but do I believe in him to win a playoff game? Woo!
It's the learning from you. It's the defense, man. The 23rd ranked defense last year is not going to help Atlanta, even though they beat Tampa twice. Yeah. That's not going to help them win any divisions anywhere. They're not going to win anything with 9 losses and all that stuff. So I'm just saying that I really think, Bray, that if they put together a good draft coming up here, shore up that defense in free agency, you might get a victory out of them.
Where are you with the Saints hiring Kellen Moore? This is a non-factor for you. Do you believe in what he did in the Eagles, his offense? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. It seems like, that's why they passed the ball so much in Dallas, because they had to. They had to wash up Ezekiel Elliott, and Tony Pollard wasn't ready. So now you give the man some grace. But do you believe him as a head man in the Saints?
Not really, and I don't believe in the Saints. The Saints have some good players, but they have a bunch of guys that are about to leave or
Isn't
not.
that the Saints every year?
Yes, and they have a bunch of guys that just are at the end of their careers, or they have huge question marks at very important positions. I mean, how many years did they give to Kamara? I mean, he's in his 14th year or something, it seems like.
He just signed an extension this past season, a 3-year extension.
So he's coming back. They like Kendry Miller, a couple of replacement level running backs. Who's their wide receiver core? They're Bub.
Chris Olave, who's like on concussion number 7
The guy can't stay healthy. And then you got Bub something or other. I mean, who's their quarterback?
Who's their? They do have a wide receiver.
That's Shaheed.
Shaheed stretches the field.
He was hurt a lot this year.
Yeah.
Derek Carr,
he won't be there.
Yeah.
They've
He
got
might be the Jets
lot of
quarterback.
problems. They got a lot of problems. I think that's Atlanta's division for sure.
I think yesterday I poo-pooed that pick. If this is where you ended up with was Derek Carr for the Jets, I'm gonna just have to be okay with it, to be honest. But
he's not a bad quarterback.
He's not. He's got
a lot of talent there. If they don't trade Garrett Wilson away,
he's in that category. He's not a bad, but he's not a good one either. Like, I feel like that good one, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
I know, but I doubt they're going to go for another guy with a Achilles, coming off an Achilles. I think they've had enough of guys coming off their Achilles.
Where does Rodgers end up?
He's going to wind up in the 49ers.
That's what Matt said yesterday. And then that way you put
Brock
Purdy back on the bench.
Brock Purdy's got the bad elbow. You rest it up, take a year, see what Aaron Rodgers could do with his boyhood team.
That'd be diabolical from a managerial standpoint side, because then it's like you lessen what you're gonna pay him. Because if Aaron Rodgers plays this year, balls, and then it's done, and now you bring Brock Purdy back, what are you gonna pay him?
Yeah, he ain't getting 50.
No, he doesn't deserve 50. He doesn't deserve.
Before
50.
he got hurt, he was ready to get 50.
True, but before
and he got hurt against us on Monday Night
else,
Football.
He wasn't gonna get 50 based off this season. Because this season you saw that what it was him, and when he had to lead games and he didn't have Christian McCaffrey, the best offensive player from 2 years ago, and Ayuk and Debo and Kittle and Trent Williams at his best, he was very pedestrian, which no disrespect to him, he got drafted last pick in the draft. That was what he's supposed to do. Yeah. That was the projection. So it's just like Dak. Everybody's always like, oh, Dak. Dak got paid that money because Jerry's an idiot. Dak got drafted in the 4th round.
We're going to talk about that coming up because we've got some awards coming up.
That's going to be fun. You know what? Let's go to commercial break.
Not just good awards, but bad awards.
Bad awards, too.
You know what, Pete? Tell us about Caesars. Tell these people where they can make their bets at, and then we'll get back. And it's some interesting categories.
You got it, my friend. Appreciate you guys, as always. And we appreciate you out there. And we would really appreciate it if you scan that QR code above my head and open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. And when you do that, use the code word Woodward1 $1,000 to open up that brand new Caesars Sportsbook account and deposit at least $20 and make your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you'll get that first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code and use the code Woodward 1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody.
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
At Lady Jane's, they take the chore out of getting your hair cut. Their talented stylists will deliver an industry-leading haircut, that relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. We know it's wicked awesome. I do want to clarify a couple things real quickly. Matt Nagy, the greatest first-year coach in NFL history, won 12 games, not 14. 2 other guys, Sean McVay and John Harbaugh, who are still at their same spot, won 11 games. And then there are 5 other guys that won 10 games. That's 8 first-year coaches that have won double-digit games in the NFL history. That's crazy. To round out the bottom, Bruce Arians, Tomlin, Adam Gase, Sean Payton, and Frank Reich. And if you look through a bunch of these teams, they were basically handed playoff teams that somebody else couldn't get over the top with, and they just took them back. So the idea that AG and Ben Johnson are just going to be playoff teams next year, winning games, it's a lofty, lofty hope. Yeah. And it's really just putting a lot of love in former Lions. It's a little bit of fandom going on. A lot of people love the Bears. I just still don't get why.
This dude in the chat is an idiot. I made a comment. I said, Kareem, it's not in this chat, but I made a comment and said Kareem is the best basketball player of all time. Maybe not NBA, but if you look at his body of work, middle school, high school, college, the NBA, like the basketball player versus the NBA player.
Wilt Chamberlain put him in his pocket. Wilt Chamberlain put him in his pocket.
Kareem beat Wilt straight up. How many times?
You mean after they changed all the rules to limit Wilt Chamberlain from being able to leave the line to winding the lane to what was that? No having their back to the basket, 3-second violation,
I don't
goaltending. He
cool.
had a quintuple double, Bray.
They changed the rule of dunks because of Kareem in college.
Oh,
they changed it in college because of what? Lou Alcindor. Look it up. Lou Alcindor. You know that guy?
Powell Memorial.
I do. Listen, the numbers that Wilt put up, the issues that he had playing for college, his first year as a Harlem Globetrotter.
I remember.
What he did in the NBA, if they take his televised games, do you know how many blocks he averaged? And mind you, most of his televised games were in the latter half of his career. Guess how many blocks he averaged per game? 8.8. 8.8.
Listen, I love Wilt and I love old basketball. But I love the way you guys always make fun of me and kill Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth played against lesser people, right? So did Wilt. Wilt played against lesser people.
Wilt also was a national championship in the 100 and a national champion in the high jump.
Great athlete.
The shot put.
Great athlete from Kansas.
Not just an athlete. He is Shaq with grace and even more power. Arnold Schwarzenegger wouldn't even work out with him anymore.
And John Holmes, all rolled up into one.
Little known fact, I high jumped higher than Wilt Chamberlain.
Dude, that's sweet.
Little known fact, I jumped 7-1 in Michigan.
The more you know.
Sweet. I'm just, you
guys didn't get that John Holmes
I did.
I got the John Holmes.
Oh, yeah, that's the 70s era.
I invested quite a bit in that vintage stuff. Love that vintage stuff.
All right. Just checking.
John
making
Holmes
sure you're
part
on.
of that conversation.
I know what we're on right now, so I didn't double down on
Understood.
No stereotyping John Holmes.
Let's just say he got around.
Right.
That's all. That's all I meant.
He could dance.
All right, let's get this thing back on the rails. Anson, basketball. I know that's your passion. Detroit Pistons tonight.
No.
What do you want?
We're doing the awards.
I got excited about it.
We'll do basketball coming up.
Some football.
This is from ML Football, guys, on Instagram. They put out, never mind the best of awards, they put out the worst awards. Their first worst award was for worst coach of the year, and they give it to
We're starting with my favorite Toledo Rocket.
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, easy.
Deserved.
Easy.
Now, you guys could tell me if he deserves it. There might be other coaches that might deserve it as well. There are a lot of bad teams out there, a lot of bad coaches out there, but we were witness on Thanksgiving Day on what happened to the Bears against the Lions at the end of that game. I think that locked it up for Matt Eberflus.
Yeah. Like that play was one of the most egregious plays I've seen. Like my own two eyes, I was down into a game. Like to have the head coach is the commander in chief of a team. Regardless of contrary to popular belief for quarterbacks and all that, it's the head coach. To have your head coach not know exactly what to do in that moment, look completely clueless, and then you got guys and players like DJ Moore afterwards. He didn't even know how to answer the question when the reporters came up to him. Like you got Caleb Williams, just like that. That was horrible. Like that moment alone got him Goofy of the year, Ricky.
Yeah, because you know how like you watch a game and somebody will miss a last second shot. You're like, I could have made that shot, but you know in reality you probably couldn't have made. I've never
I could
seen
have been the coach in that game.
Exactly, I could have made a better decision in that moment.
Time out.
Time out.
Time out.
We would have made it.
Anson, you got one better than him? You got one worse than him, I mean?
I have a
runner-up?
very close runner-up in Brian Dable. Still has his
Good
job
job.
somehow.
Good choice.
No idea how he has his job still, but Joe Shane is the guy that really...
Well, he's worst GM.
Yes, he should be on that worst GM. He is, I just keep going back to that Hard Knocks of the owners. Like, well, sure would be tough to see Saquon go to Philly. He was our fan favorite here.
Shane's the worst GM ever. Because in that same conversation, the same video clip, his son told him who to draft. And he had like his son didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Then why'd you ask him?
Right.
We got it on camera. He told you who to draft. That player, hell of a play. Like 100%. I agree.
Can I add one in here, Tom?
Yeah, of course.
Brian Callahan, Tennessee, man.
You think? No, he didn't have any talent. He had no quarterback, no talent.
It's up to him to improve that talent.
He did draft Will Levis, though.
Anyway,
who's
no,
not
he
good.
didn't.
No,
They
he didn't
did.
draft him.
It was his first year this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway, would you like the
Clarification, I
most
appreciate that.
overrated?
What's our next award?
Most overrated player of the year. Can you guys ready?
No, hold on. Let me see. We got to go around the room.
Hang on.
Anson,
Sorry,
overrated
Tommy.
player. You already saw it, man, so you can't guess.
I forgot who it is, but I
good.
was going to guess.
You still go.
I was going to guess Deshaun Watson.
I think that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
Pass,
Travis Kelce.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce.
Interesting. The answer is.
Hold on.
Dak Prescott.
Good old
You
Dak
gotta let us
Prescott.
all get a guess, Pete.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Brett. I
It's
thought
funny
that
because
he
I
was
was
all
going
good 'cause
between
that's what-
Dak and
I'm
Aaron
sorry,
Rodgers
Brett. I
because
thought
they
he was
let
wrong.
me down in my
Yeah.
3-year. I was looking to three-peat in my dynasty league, and those guys let me down. I had to pin my hopes on a young Russell Wilson.
What do you think of most overrated Dak Prescott? That sounds pretty good.
It's 100% true.
I feel like he's that every year.
legitimately, me and Anson had a conversation all off season. We was
But
like,
the most, I
But
mean,
he's- I
he
think
had
you-
some really great numbers when he was healthy this year. The team itself was maybe one of the most overrated.
I think it's him though, because
that's
I
definitely
think I think the numbers are cool, but like when you need him in the moments, he's not there.
Who was more overrated coming into this season, him or Aaron Rodgers? Because everybody was ready for Aaron
Equal?
Rodgers to go back to the Super Bowl.
I can give you that. I can give you Aaron Rodgers.
That was a very good one.
I can give you Aaron Rodgers. That might be the one.
And I'm actually an Aaron Rodgers fan now.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca Rodgers, my boy.
Hey, Brock Purdy.
Man, that guy
Purdy.
this time last year was the hottest card in football cards, aside from C.J. Stroud. But even he was more valuable than C.J. Stroud, which was crazy to me. But he finally came back down to earth.
Can you put a rookie in there? Can you put Caleb Williams in there?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I had to pull that one back
Hold on,
because
hold
you
on,
know
hold
that
on,
was
hold
my
on,
knee-jerk
hold on.
answer.
Hold
The
on.
catfish.
I have a question in there. Can you put Caleb Williams in there considering the worst coach was his coach?
Good point.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
he's a
good
rookie.
point.
And he's a rookie.
That Eberflus.
Maybe he made the coach
a
look
good point.
bad because this was the generational quarterback after all.
right.
A guy so good that you took him over Jaden Daniels. And I keep going back to it. I forget the young guy's name, the blonde kid, the quarterback that they had there.
The Jets?
Mitchell Trubisky?
No, the Jets.
The backup, the
Ga-
backup in Chicago.
His dad was an arm wrestler.
Tyson
Basin.
Basin.
Basin. Yeah.
They would have won 8 or 9 games with Tyson Bagent starting the whole season and letting Caleb slowly come in. I think Caleb might have done more damage in the huddle and locker room than he can fix, that Ben Johnson can fix. There's guys on that team that just don't like the kid.
All right, if we're just keeping it the football field, if we're going to give Trevor Lawrence a pass because of Urban Meyer, then we're going to give Caleb Williams a pass because of Eberflus.
And Caleb Williams had some moments. He shined a little bit here and there. He flashed, but
If it wasn't for a Hail Mary, he'd beat your boy.
there's a hell of a Hail Mary.
What's the next
Guys, ready to
award,
move
Pete?
on to the okay, guys, hang on. We
I'll put
have
it up.
coming up
Yeah, like
here
10
the
minutes on the
worst
floor.
offensive player of the year.
Worst offensive player of the year.
No. Change that offensive player. Just worst player.
Stop
This
putting it
worst
up so
player.
quick.
Pete, don't put him up.
Stop putting it up so
Just
quick.
tell us.
Sorry,
We
all
like
right.
guessing games.
That one's a tough one to guess.
But what you do is you allow us to give an opinion because it's not about who it is.
From now on, I'm my bad.
It's
That
a-
should be worst teammate of the
That's
year.
what I was going to
He
say.
is.
Like
He's the
everywhere
worst teammate
gone.
ever, I think.
Possibly.
Why is it that always like these players go down to the Panthers? Because Robbie Anderson was the same.
Yeah.
He was just a lunatic.
Chosen, you mean?
Lunatic. I forgot he chose a new nickname.
Chosen.
Good job, Mass. Good job, buddy.
He had a lot of talent, too, that kid.
Who else is a bad player like in this league? Like who else would be? If you thought worse, Deontay Johnson absolutely is the answer. But worst offensive player, Ricky, first person comes to mind.
I feel like it wouldn't be someone that's playing. I can't think of a
How about Zeke?
I can't think of a bad player.
Ooh.
Zeke was bad, but
Yeah,
this is,
Zeke was bad.
he's on his last
And
leg.
nobody expected him to be anything.
I know, he was on his last leg. But he wasn't very good,
There was
was
some
he?
bad quarterbacks. Like, I feel like that's where we should go. Who had
Yeah.
bad quarterback play?
There we go. Kirk Cousins. Sorry.
Kirk Cousins
I'm
had
gonna go
a
Kirk
rough,
That
rough
Kirk
second
Cousins
half
might
of the
be the
season.
answer.
Wilson.
That's a good one.
Caleb Williams might be the answer.
Or Dak. We could go with Dak again.
you could go with Dak.
He
That
got
got
benched.
injured. That guy.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did get
I
injured. I just think about him getting benched like twice.
He did.
All right, what's the next
All right,
award?
guys, can you guess the worst defensive player of the year?
Worst defensive player.
Worst defensive
player of the year.
Christian McCaffrey.
No,
What?
defensive.
No. We're rewinding the last one. Worst offensive player of the
Okay.
year.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
one pick in
He was
fantasy
hurt.
drafts. Not good if you're hurt.
Doesn't matter. Worst defensive
Worst
player of the
defensive
year.
player of the year.
Worst defensive player of the
Emmanuel
year.
Mosley.
What were Micah Parsons' numbers? And I know he missed.
He wasn't worse.
He was very good when he came back.
Yeah, that's why I'm a fair guy because I still like Micah Parsons over you know who, but he had some bad spots in there. So I'm just fair. I call it down the middle.
Let's
I
see
don't
if-
know. I have to look at some stats too.
Cam Sutton's Fix Your Face says Cam Sutton. Fix Your Face says Cam
Fix your
Sutton.
face.
LOL, he says. LOL. Fix Your Face says Cam Sutton.
Every time you say "fix your face," I'm like, huh?
You
What?
guys
I know,
ready
I
for the
think he's
answer?
talking-
Go ahead, put it up.
Here comes the answer, guys.
Oh, this is the
Devin
good
White.
one.
That's another old cat.
Yeah, which isn't fair. To
No.
I really didn't follow him too much. Obviously,
Yeah.
didn't hear much about him.
I feel like the worst is hard to pick because you don't pay attention to the bad players. They
I
pretty
feel
much
like
get in the
too,
way
like,
of the
not
game.
Bad players.
They
had
picked
bad
Devin White
seasons,
as the
so
guy.
it's
If you're just
hard.
listening to us, it's Devin White.
Devin White
From
has been a
Tampa Bay.
perennial IDP starter
If we gonna-
at linebacker for 10 years, and he wasn't even ownable this year. So he had a bad year.
Xavier
right,
said
so
it should have been
what
James
about-
Houston.
What
a
about
solid
looking?
pick.
What about looking inward?
I said
the
Emmanuel
Lions?
Mosley.
Terry Arnold.
There you go.
Man,
Somebody said Carlton Davis.
No, now you said
Sky
Terry.
Dog.
you
Sky
said
Dog
Terry
said
Arnold.
Carlton
I have a
Davis.
problem
how about
with it, not
Marcus
Carlton Davis.
Davenport?
He got hurt.
got hurt.
He played
got
2
hurt.
games.
He had two
played,
good
he played
games.
a half.
Was
He
he
had
good?
2 good games.
Was he
hear
any
you, though.
good? I mean, okay, so they have to be bad on the field, not like took up a bunch of salary and had a bunch of hopes as your pinned in
Yeah, you're looking
starter
for,
and
like-
they didn't play for you all year.
You're looking too deep. Like who was bad?
He had to be like Jared Davis was for us. That kind of bad. You know, he was the
Kendall-
number 1
Kendall
pick.
Dilfer
not good.
kinda bad.
Number 1 pick. What's the next award?
Okay, this is a good one, guys. We're gonna take some time with cringiest NFL player of the year. Cringiest.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey.
Caleb
Yeah.
Catfish Williams. Come on, man. Your
Yeah.
first huddle and your nails are painted.
Oh,
I know
my
it's
God.
2025, but you lost at
Preach.
least a quarter of your linemen when you walked up and put that
Preach.
hand in with your painted nails.
Preach.
And then you watch how many times his offensive lineman walked past him while his ass was on the ground and they didn't extend a hand. How many times this guy throwing it, his body language was awful. You got his number 1 wide receiver in Moore literally leaving in the middle of a 4th down play to possibly win a game. He walked off in the middle of that game. There is no more cringe than the Catfish in Chicago.
Hey, let me ask you this.
You're
Is-
gonna try to find
Yeah.
a way for
Is it
every
a
category
specialist?
to be.
It is not a specialist.
It's not a specialist.
It is not a specialist.
I was
but
putting
it
against
is a-
Justin Tucker.
It is a star
That's off
player.
the field.
It is a star player.
It's a star
It's
player?
a star player.
Cringiest star player.
It's
Who am I
a
thinking of?
star player.
Defensive.
Kelsey.
Nope.
No,
I said Kelsey and
Kelsey,
Mahomes.
maybe.
who am I thinking of? Miami. Oh, who am I thinking of?
It's not a
Give us,
defensive
a,
player.
give us a
Yeah,
lead.
Tariq Hill.
Tyreek.
Well,
What league?
Mr. Edwards, you're on the camera. Mr. Edwards, you said it.
Hey, yeah, I knew
Hell
it.
yeah,
Travis
he's the
Kelce.
cringiest.
Yeah.
He just had a cringy year, and look, I don't even
He
have to
did.
dive too.
From his hair
I was
to
just-
the end.
And his
Like,
John
to the
Holmes
suit.
outfit when he walked into the
Yeah,
game.
that's so.
Like let's explore that just for 2 seconds. I'm watching the Fox broadcast. They're showing them come out of their hotel. They're jumping on the bus to go to the stadium, and then when they flip and he starts walking, and you see that suit and the lapels and the flip,
The
he
hair.
looked like we talked about yesterday. He like a caricature of himself
Yeah.
through this relationship. Like Travis Kelce, the one that we know, he wasn't at that game on Sunday. Travis Kelce wasn't even in New Orleans, if we want to be honest. We know, but I don't know. He was cringy all year, and I think the culmination happened on Sunday, like from start to finish. I ain't never seen Travis Kelce drop a pass in the playoffs. I seen him drop him in the regular
And you know
season.
what's so weird is I didn't see him with Taylor after the game. I didn't see Taylor Swift consoling her the
Right.
love of her
Right.
life.
I saw one
Yeah.
picture.
So let me ask you this, man.
I told you it was fake.
Has
Yeah.
that start? Have they reached their limit? Like,
Taylor
has that gone from helping
Have
the
they
Chiefs,
peaked?
and has it peaked to the point where now it's a detriment? Because we saw Taylor Swift get booed for the first time in her life, Ricky.
She didn't even know what to do.
She didn't know what to do. She's like, what is going on?
Is that me they're talking about? Like, yeah.
I mean, honestly,
People are fatigued of her.
if the election changed, results changed 2 months ago, you might have a very different opinion of those people. But Taylor chose her endorsement, brought her boyfriend with her. He didn't show up at all in this big game to win his third straight
I
championship.
saw her more than him.
Just like her candidate.
And so now all of a sudden, like, you felt that there was a shift socially in that stadium from what we felt the last few years at Super Bowls. So those two are breaking up in the next year. You watch.
You know what the difference is too? I think we just didn't pay attention because she never was on the road. She only went on a couple road games in terms of when they were short, Monday night, Sunday, if they're not in Arrowhead. Every time we see them, they're at Arrowhead. So you're not going to see them get booed.
Fox
in Kansas
was
City.
ready to show her, but the Chiefs gave them nothing.
That's right.
The Chiefs gave them no chance to show her. That's how bad they were on Sunday.
I think they stayed away from her too, just like the ref situation. Like you said, they didn't have a chance to help the Chiefs. But I think it was purposeful in that. It was purposeful that they didn't show her. Even though they were getting whooped, this is still Taylor Swift. Like, this is still her and Beyonce, largest artists in the world. They still didn't show it.
They weren't going back after she got booed. That's
I was
for
about to
sure.
say
that part.
They weren't going back again
Oh, heck
at
no,
all.
man.
They did her a favor, realistically.
Yes,
They
that's a good
spared her
point.
feelings.
No doubt about it.
Maz, you ready for another good one?
Yeah, what do we got?
All right, my friends. Biggest fall off player of the year. The player in the NFL that had the biggest fall off from
There you
last
go.
year.
Christian McCaffrey.
That's Christian McCaffrey.
Right?
100%.
Can't be anybody else. But are we talking about fall off on the field?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
on
it
the
could
field.
be.
Or does that include
How about
injuries
Aaron
this time?
Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers has to be in there.
I got one, but
Dak
it's
needs to be.
unfair.
Go ahead.
CJ Stroud.
That's a good
No
one.
way.
And it's
Sophomore
because
slump.
of the injuries, but they're a part of the game.
Still made it back to the playoffs, but no, everybody's
But he
waiting
didn't
for
look-
him to take over the
He
NFL
won him a
this
game.
year.
He won a
And
playoff game
it was,
again.
It was Jaden Daniels
said
instead.
what?
He won a playoff game again.
Okay, it's just a question.
Through about week 12, 15, I go with you on that
Yeah.
one. But winning a playoff game, one in each of his first 2 years, I think he gets a big pass for that.
Anybody else?
Well, they have a
Devontae
good
Adams?
answer here, Tommy.
We got Ricky.
Oh, I got one. For
Ricky,
the
you
worst
got
player.
one?
We could've went
Devontae
back.
Adams.
That's a
could've
good
picked
one.
That's an interesting one.
That's a good one. But here is what
George
ML
Pickens.
chose.
When we went back to work.
Debo Samuel.
Oh,
That's
yes.
fair.
Oh.
That's fair.
100%.
That's
How could I
fair.
not know that?
He did.
And he announced that it is shopping him.
How could I not know that?
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
fair.
had the right team, just the wrong player.
I'll tell you what, you could put DK Metcalf right up with him.
That whole team
That's
should
a
win
good
that
point.
thing.
Those
too.
guys each had a great first month, and then they just disappeared.
And Bray, whatever
Cooper
happened
Kupp.
to Tyler Lockett, man? Is he just gone? What happened to that
He's
poor
old,
guy?
man.
Tyler's old. Like, and this is no disrespect to Tyler. Tyler, and I hate this word overachiever, but Tyler Lockett was always an overachiever.
Absolutely.
And he was a speed guy. So
Right
the
on.
speed and overachieving, he did things the right way. He found the zones. Like, at some point, you no longer run 4-3.
And then
now,
JSN, baby.
Jackson
JSN.
Smith and Jigba. So like when you run 4-3, it doesn't matter that you're 4-3 in terms of height. That was a little double
Right.
entendre.
I know what you
But
mean.
when you're now 4-5 and you're 5'7",
You're done.
I think that's what's going on with Tyler.
Gotcha.
Plus, Geno Smith is his quarterback. Like, it's only so far Geno can go.
Makes sense.
Geno's a dink and dunk type guy. Like, he's not a guy that's really getting the ball down the field, not deep post routes, deep go routes, deep overs. Geno's trying to keep the ball inside 10 yards. And I think that hurt Tyler Lockett. It's kind of not wasted, but he was on those teams, and now it's
JSN killed both those receivers.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
That good this year.
He's on his way.
Targeted wide receiver in
He's
the
on
league
his
this
way.
year.
He's on his way.
He's very good.
What's next?
Okay, guys, the next one we have here. Sorry, Tom, I got the camera on you by accident. Here you go, buddy. Oh my goodness sakes!
We'll take this to 3:30. We'll take a break, and then we'll
Absolutely.
get into
guys.
some
Here it is, Tommy. Your favorite one.
Uh-oh.
O.J. Simpson Worst Man of the Year award.
Isn't that
Oh,
Deontay
that's
Johnson
easy.
again?
That's Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker has 9 alleged
did not have a
charges
good
now.
year.
That's right. I
100%.
forgot about
He
that.
sucked on the field too.
But you know what? And that's why I always like at the beginning of the Deshaun Watson conversation, when people were trying to get him here in Detroit and he'd be a good move, and we didn't have a quarterback, so we thought. you're like, he's got all these allegations, you know what I'm saying, and blah, blah, blah. But all right, whatever, innocent till proven guilty. When you start watching his play, when you start watching his mental,
Like,
innocent people don't play like that. Innocent people don't perform like that.
Yep.
So now you're watching this year, and this is in the beginning of the season, mid-season, end season. I'm like, Justin Tucker don't miss kicks.
No.
Then you start seeing like, wait, Justin missed 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Then Justin has 7 misses? And then all this stuff comes out at the end of the
So
year.
he knew about it prior.
You cannot function regularly when you got something like that looming over your head.
So he knew.
Yeah.
Before it even came out, he heard about this, right?
100%.
You gotta be
I
like,
agree with you.
You gotta be like
The
Kobe.
only thing I don't like about this award is they dragging my guy OJ through the mud. Why didn't they name this award after
And
OJ?
there you go.
OJ
You guys
drug
were all
himself
right.
through the mud.
Justin Tucker.
OJ
guys
drug
were
You were
himself
right.
through
There
the
it
mud.
is.
You guys were all
this
right.
is
JT.
Mr. 66.
You guys all get the extra
Damn.
$100 bill.
Isn't it so? But it's so crazy how in the blink of an eye, it turns. I just think of Deshaun Watson's season. Like Deshaun Watson that year in Cleveland, that 2019 season or 20. It's one of the best years I've seen, considering the talent that he did not have. All the wide receivers got injured. Like, it was an amazing job. Justin Tucker, same thing. Like, this is the best kicker ever. He kicks the 66-yarder, blah, blah, blah. In the span of a year for Deshaun, it was over. In the span of however long this is, it's over.
How about that?
That's a good one.
Yeah, so.
Want one more before we break? Or you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
we
break?
got time for one more, I think.
What's the best one left?
The best one left?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see here, guys. We are going to go with, the most hated player of the year.
The most hated
That's
player.
the best one left.
That's got to be Travis Kelce.
The most hated player
Could
of the
be
year.
Butker. Honestly, I would say that two possibilities are both Chiefs.
How about
Harrison
CJ
Butker would be
GJ?
one. He just won a championship, so I don't think so.
He's
but
a pain in the ass.
I'll tell you what. Listen, man, Travis Kelce has become
I
complete.
can't stand him.
He's polarizing. You absolutely love him and his girlfriend, or you are over it. So I'm going to vote for Kelce again.
You going with another Kelce one? The most hated player award.
Do they have to be actively playing?
Yep.
I think time. Oh, all right.
Deshaun Watson.
What league is he in?
Still?
He is in the AFC there, Tommy.
AFC.
Let's see.
On a team that you were very...
I got it. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
No. Nope. On another AFC team that you were very high on to start the season.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
That would be...
I said it.
Your... Oh, sorry, wrong one. Sorry, hang on. Sorry, guys. That would be your winner.
I said Deshaun.
There it is.
Yeah, he should- I mean, how much
That's
did
crazy
he
we
even
were just
play,
talking
though,
about him.
you know?
He hardly played, but you know what? It is what it is.
Well, but then he had the allegations come back up yet again this year. So, yeah, he is.
You know what? Run through the other ones, Pete. Just put them up on the board.
You got it. Okay, because this one was kind of bad. Worst offensive rookie of the year is Jalen Polk. You guys
that's
probably
hard.
would
Don't know
not
much
have
about
guessed
him.
that one.
Never heard of him.
People
Keep
love
going.
Well,
Came from
we just talked
Washington
about
with-
the most hated player. Well, guess who the least valuable player of the year was? Also Deshaun Watson.
wow.
He gets
Sure.
the double award.
Look at that.
He's the only double
Congratulations,
award
Deshaun.
I
winner
bet his
here.
mom is proud.
Congratulations to Deshaun Watson for getting the double award.
Two-time loser.
Collecting a check.
We're going to save the dirtiest player for last. The worst defensive rookie of the year is Ruke Okwaru.
Okay.
The worst coordinator, not defensive, just either defensive or offensive,
That'll be the
Shane
Bears.
Waldron.
Yep. Bears.
That's correct.
Man.
Shane
Yep.
Waldron of the Bears. And gentlemen, I'm sure you can guess. We already know. Who is the dirtiest player in the league according to ML Football? Come on, Tommy. It is a Lion.
I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it.
Anson?
I know.
It's a lion?
It's a Lion. Come
I know
on
who it
now.
is.
Oh, Kirby? Are you kidding
Are
me?
you? Come on.
Yeah,
baby.
Branch.
That's ridiculous.
Kirby Joseph. Oh, I thought it was
That's
B. Branch.
ridiculous.
Congrats, Kirby.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
That
Proud of
rounds
you.
out
Captain
reward.
Hands.
Love him.
Captain
Love me some
Hands.
Kirby
We're
Joseph.
proud of you, Curbs.
Absolutely.
Keep it up.
keep knocking skulls, bro.
Hey, baby.
Right.
Cracking
Hey,
skulls.
we're going to be
Part of the
back, but
game.
first, we're going to tell you a little bit about
Dr.
Dr.
Pierce,
Pierce. That's
baby.
right. Do not miss our expert sports injury insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine. He joins Big D Energy on Tuesdays. He joins us on Thursdays. Trust the guy, DMAC Trust. He will keep you in the game, feeling best, and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426 $99.44. Ricky, how about that merch?
Yeah, I was just about to say, forget what you're talking about, man. We gotta have the right merch when you're supporting your team, whether it's the Red Wings or the Lions or the Pistons. Shop.woodwardsports.com. They got everything you need. Tees, hoodies, hats. Newest designs are on the website now. You got to check out these designs. Support your team the right way with the right merch. Shop.woodwardsports.com. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Well, Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 in your pocket, guys. Give Mark White & Associates a call today. 248-290-8242. Visit them online as well. MarkWhiteSells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Let's jump into a little bit of basketball before we get into the Pistons, who play tonight against the Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls.
Back-to-backers.
Shout out to Chris Farley, man. Rest in peace. Lakers. They debuted somebody last night. Luka Doncic played his first game last night. He saw 24 minutes, I believe. 24 minutes. He had 14 points. 14, 5, and 5. You saw the one play, obviously, where he gets the rebound. He gets excited. He sees LeBron and break kicks out. LeBron gets the layup. It's against a nothing Utah Jazz, but wanted to mention it. Where are you with this, and what do you think could potentially happen? Also, the trade for the center from the Hornets, as of right now, is nixed.
Yes. So for me, without Mark coming over, I just don't understand how they are going to survive with their interior defense and rebounding the way that it is. Obviously, LeBron can rebound. Luka can rebound. I think that when you get to the playoffs, though, the offensive blitz that we get to watch over the next couple months in LA, it's going to start becoming a lot more difficult for them to win games. What I did see with Luka last night was a tentativeness. and something that you've never seen with him before because he was always the guy, and it was always his team. There's some nerves.
He said that in his interview. He says the first time that he's been nervous since his opening debut game.
Well, and you're not just going to the Pistons where you've got a Cade who's the guy. You're going to a guy that's argued as the GOAT, but a guy that has control and sway over this league like no one has since Kobe and MJ. So now you got to go into his backcourt and play with this guy. And we all know that LeBron he's a fickle guy, man. He can turn on you very quickly. So I think that there will be
really?
I think there will be a feeling out period for Luka where you see him look a little bit out of place. I think by the end of the regular season, they're going to be clicking on all offensive cylinders. That's not the concern, though. Sure. These guys couldn't do it with AD. I just don't think that Luka can create enough offense to overcome what they lose in the interior by not having AD there. So it's going to be fun to watch, especially for Lakers fans.
The most diabolical thing LeBron James has ever done is he traded his best friend and D Wade and former teammate before January. D Wade didn't even know. That was the funniest thing he ever did. LeBron, not your best friend. Anybody can get it with LeBron. Pistons. They had Dennis Schroeder at the trade deadline. Had 5 minutes in his first. He had 15 minutes, 5 points in his first showing. Is this a player that, based on what the Pistons are doing, they're 27-6 right now. They're currently in the 6th position in the East. Did Dennis Schroeder do anything for you?
Well, I'll be honest. I was kind of excited to see son of Saginaw native KJ Martin here.
Okay.
I loved his contract, and he had another year on it.
I love his dad, Goon, Karl
Malone. Love
physique.
that clip.
That goes a long way.
Detroit blood, baby. Yeah. So, for me, I love what the Pistons did. They had already stated that they were very happy with their core, and a lot of the things that Pistons fans were thinking were going to happen with a Tobias Harris, with a Tim Hardaway, with a Malik Beasley. We all thought that these were just chips to move at the trade deadline.
You mean Malik Beasley?
That's right.
There you go.
For a team that probably wasn't going to make the playoffs, but things have obviously changed. And I have to bring this back. Troy Weaver got a raw deal here in Detroit because this foundation that we all talk about here in Detroit, nobody's talking about Tobias Harris of that foundation or Tim Hardaway or Ron Holland. Troy Weaver cleared terrible books out. He traded for guys that were about to expire, a bunch of former bust Kevin Knoxes and Bagleys and stuff like that. But he drafted very well, and he left this team with the most money in the salary cap so that the Pistons could go and get who they did. Now, last year, we have no idea how good that team could have been because we had a coach that literally wanted to destroy his own squad. That being said, I got to give Troy Weaver some love because nobody wants to acknowledge the team that was handed off to Trajan. Now, that being said, Trajan didn't go out and chase the Ingrams and these guys that were going to take 2-3 draft picks and a whole bunch of money. He went out there and literally gave up nothing. Yeah. Acquired 2 picks and then brought in some wing guys that we probably won't ever really see. Lindy, Waters could be intriguing.
That's Cade's old teammate
at OKC, and a Native American player in the NBA, which is awesome. But what you saw in the slight taste you got of Dennis Schroeder, I wasn't all for going and getting another ball handler. Yeah. I know that Sasser and Asar can handle the rock, but they don't do it confidently. They will, but they're not doing it confidently. Listen, Schroeder is a guy that's played in the Olympics, the World Championships. He's won rings. This guy's still one of the fastest players in the NBA.
Is he?
And what he brings, as long as he can get along in that locker room, but I think he's coming to a team that wants to fight. And I think he really gets into that. Like, you've seen how competitive a player as he is. He might be able to start and probably should be starting on this team right now.
Yeah, I like everything you said. The only thing I will say, if you want to say that Troy Weaver got a raw deal, or that's fine, but let's not say he was a great drafter. Like, I understand he drafted Cade, and I understand the Pistons had a couple positions where it's like, who are you going to draft in this spot?
Jalen Duren wasn't a great draft pick where he got him. Beef Stew wasn't a great draft pick where he got him. Sadiq Bey wasn't.
Listen, Anson, you said great
I think he was.
He drafted freaking Killian Hayes.
Okay, the first draft, and I will absolutely give you that. Should have been Tyler Halliburton.
Right.
You know, but aside from the Killian Hayes, and again, you look at the Lions, who have been one of the best drafters in the league for the last 4 or 5 years, you have misses, and that's going to happen. That was a grievous mistake, don't get me wrong, but it was also his first draft. Since then, he crushed it in the first round. He got guys in the teens and the 20s that contribute. Guy in Jalen Durham that is considered a core piece of this foundation. I don't want to go too far on Troy Weaver. My thing is if we would have had a different coach, if we'd had somebody that cared last year, Troy Weaver might still be here. Regardless, Trajan crushed this trade deadline.
The biggest credit that I will give Troy Weaver is that he did not draft Jalen Green. He chose Cade Cunningham. I will give him that credit, man.
Yeah, and he took. Who did he leave on the board? I mean, that first year was a terrible draft. Right,
he should have taken
Halliburton. It was. But it's okay. It's the first time, right? The Pistons, I love, like I said, I've been saying this, I'm a broken record. I love this core. I love the way this team is. They're making me enjoy watching them. If they're home, I'm going to the games. What they do doesn't even translate to television. You got to be there to watch them. The bench is standing up.
Yep.
They're all involved. When Beef Stew comes in, you know, he's going to get a tech. He's going to throw an elbow.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fight in this team. And I love their coach. Cool and calm and collected. And Cade Cunningham has become a superstar.
Truly.
And it's fun to watch it. It's good basketball. And right now, Pete, you can put up the standings.
Yep.
They are 6th in the East as we head to the break coming up. This is a big game tonight against the Bulls. They played them last Sunday. Bulls played them tough. Pistons kind of pulled away a little bit. But the Bulls are a tough game against this team, and the Bulls are home tonight. I'd like to see them win this game, win a couple games before the All-Star break. Not do what the Red Wings did. Red Wings had some time off, then they crapped the bed on Saturday, and now they got 2 weeks off, which I don't want to see the Pistons go into the break with a losing streak. I want to see them over 500 basketball heading in to this weekend's games out in Golden State.
I'm about to look up some tickets. You got me want to go to the Pistons game now.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm about to look up some tickets.
It's well worth it. Worth it.
It's Detroit brand of basketball.
Yeah.
It is the Bad Boys 3.0. They are so in it defensively, but they are a physical team. And whether they're up and blow a lead or they're down 20 and get back into it, this team is never counted out. They do not give up. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff having these boys playing the way that they are.
Yeah, no, these boys are playing. They're playing amazingly well. These grown men. Excuse me. I think they can even make ground up on the Bucks. The Bucks just don't seem like to be a team. And, you know, obviously Giannis, and he has some injuries. This is the time that you make up some ground on them. The Pacers, we know what they're going to be like at the end of the season in terms of the playoffs. But, you know, you're making up some ground. At the end of the day, your job now as the Pistons, JB Bickerstaff, is you're going to get in the dance, all right? Your job is to put yourself in the best position to where you're not playing the Cavs in the first round, to where you're not playing the Boston Celtics in the first round or the play-in tournament. Your job is to get to a spot. Is it 5? 5 is the mark.
Can I give you, because I spent a lot of time on this last night. So I went back through late December. I came in here at the beginning of January. I told you guys this team was going to be 42-40.
You
all right?
did.
They have 29 games left, 17 of which are against teams 500 or better. So they have their work cut out for them. They got back-to-back games against the Bulls tonight and tomorrow night. They have to win both of those games. But I certainly see them going 15-14 through this last 29, which would put them at 42-40 and give them an opportunity to be the number 6 seed. Last 2 games of the season happen to be against those Milwaukee Bucks, a team that the Pistons do not match up well with.
No.
You know who they do match up well with?
Pacers.
No, not really. I love that rivalry. The New York Knicks.
I knew you were going to say the Knicks. That's
Mr. Maz's team. Jalen Brunson is the motor behind that team, and he struggles against Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is just too big for him.
And Cat struggles in the playoffs.
And Cat is that wild card if he plays very, very well. But listen, the Pistons are going to win a game in the playoffs. It won't be like what we saw in the teens where this team could make the playoffs and get swept. They will win a game. I'm going to go on record right now and say that they are going to upset the New York Knickerbockers.
Wow.
Flat out. the number
take it.
6 seed. Then you're going to see the Pacers and
You're
Bucks
crazy, but I'll take
going against each other. The play-in game, the Bulls will fall out, and the Philadelphia 76ers will be in the play-in games, and you will see the Orlando Magic come out. They will end up playing the Boston Celtics, which is going to be a hell of a matchup. The Orlando Magic are truly one of the future teams of the Eastern Conference. And then I think that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be able to put it together with their experience. But then they will draw the Cleveland Cavaliers, which will be a fight. But
As long as Joel's playing, they could win.
I'm saying it right now. If the Pistons hold the 6th seed and the Knicks hold the 3 seed, which I think will happen, I don't like the way that the Knicks match up with the Lions or the Pistons, which is in great favor for our boys down at LCA. I said it here first. Second round, we will see the Pistons playing.
I hope you're right, man.
Speaking of second, right now, Tom Izzo.
He got a big game tonight,
Come on, Tommy.
Speaking of being in second place, right now, Tom Izzo's tied with
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight for the most wins in NCAA. What is it in the Big Ten? Most
Big
wins
Ten.
in the Big Ten history. Obviously, Coach K will hold that if it was just all of college basketball. Tom Izzo's going for 354 tonight.
Wait,
Mavs?
Bobby Knight? You talking Bobby Knight,
Look at this.
1981?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Boy.
Oh,
I wanted
Who's your
this
hero?
my whole life.
Hold on. That I didn't pay attention to the caption on the left of Zeke. That is an amazing caption. Who's your hero?
Yeah.
I didn't even
The
think about it
play
that
on
way.
words is phenomenal. Sports Illustrated used to get it right.
And then another one, and a little child led them. Isaiah, baby.
A little
Zeke,
child.
who is moving back to the state of Michigan this year, by the way.
Good for Zeke, man. This is where he belongs. I know he's from Chicago, but like, yo, what you did was here. It's in Detroit. Although you did some great things in New York and Toronto. Tom Mazaway.
Who's
Yes,
better
sir.
out of the two coaches? Is that where you're going?
You said what?
Who's better, Bobby Knight or Izzo?
Oh, it's Bobby Knight. Like, it's not even close, realistically. I know he
throw a
has
chair
more.
further.
I know he has more wins, but Bobby Knight said he's a much better coach. Tom Mazaway. Tom Izzo, 354 tonight. What does it mean to you?
it means a lot. I love him. He's still one of my favorite coaches. This guy is. I'd want my kid to play for him. That's how much I appreciate Tom Izzo. And this year, they're at number 11 right now, MSU. They were playing well. They lost a couple of tough games on the West Coast.
It's that traveling. It's that West Coast
Two
schedule.
games in the West
It
Coast.
happens in
UCLA,
football,
USC.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play on the road out there. That's the big thing about USC, UCLA coming to play here. Football. It's hard. And it's hard for the basketball schools to go out west and win. Those are tough schedules. MSU has got a hell of a chance this year to make some noise in the big dance. So I'm looking forward to seeing them tonight against Indiana. That's a 9:00 game. Meanwhile, the Michigan Wolverines putting their unbeaten Chrysler Arena record up against Purdue. They play the early game tonight,
Purdue.
Ray,
And this
at
is-
7:00.
This is where I should be tonight. I'm very upset that I'm not going. They actually play my Michigan State on my birthday, but
Look at it. It's a sellout, man.
it's happening to them now. It is a sellout, and it's a sellout for a reason because you got a Michigan team coached by Dusty May that seems to be coming to their own. And that point guard, oh my God, Wolf. Wolf understands as a 7-foot point guard, the guy can do the step backs the whole 9 yards. But this Purdue team just beat them by 27 2 weeks ago. So there's gonna be a lot on this game. It's exciting. I think
This is a little. They got their butts beat. That
27.
Yeah.
I put it to you like this. Michigan wins this game. The Big Ten is in trouble. The Big Ten is in trouble if Michigan wins this game because
Dusty May.
at the point Michigan's at now, like they're still a year. You know what I'm saying? They could probably have a running in the NCAA tournament, maybe to a Sweet 16. You know, if you will. You never know. You can get lucky in the tournament in the dance. But I think that they're a year away. So
How about this, Bray? They lost by 27 to Purdue. Purdue's number 7 in the country. Michigan's number 20.
Yeah.
Guess what the spread is tonight? Coming off a 27-point loss in Lafayette.
4.5.
Michigan's favored by 2.5.
Oh, that's it.
What does that tell you?
Oh, they try to set you up.
I'm just saying, man. You lose
Something's
by
fishy.
27 to this team, and now Michigan's favored
Trying to get some action
at home.
Is somebody hurt?
Well, Michigan's good at home, unbeaten at home.
Yeah.
They got to. I don't know, man.
21st.
That's what the
If
game.
I'm a
You got
betting,
some seats for me and Maz? We going or what?
listen. If I'm a betting man, how do you not take Purdue in the 2.5?
But and I think that's what they're trying to set you up
Yeah.
for. And that's why I don't bet anymore.
Me neither.
That's why I'm betting anymore.
State's
I didn't
favored
get
by
an-
10.5.
I didn't get an answer, so Maz, I know you got some hooks at the Brez.
I do.
March 9th, Michigan
That's
State
why
hosts the Wolverines for what could be the championship
It's a
of
tough
the Big
ticket,
Ten.
man.
So I'm
regular
actually
season.
going to that one.
Are you?
The
You
one-
going to the Brez?
I haven't been in forever. I want to see Michigan win in the Breslin Center.
You
I
going
just
back
want
to you going back to EL, huh?
You're going on your birthday.
Yeah, but the problem is when your girlfriend has plans for you and they do all that stuff, it's like you can't get out of it. You can't.
You
do
can't go
anything.
to a sporting
plans for
contest
it.
on your birthday if you
And
got a
if it was
significant other.
downtown, it'd be different. Because then it's like, all right, I'm downtown. You can do dinner after, but you know.
What, are you saying Ann Arbor doesn't have a nightlife?
No, well, they got dinner. They have restaurants. They got a nightlife if I was back 21.
Looks
didn't
like
have an answer
Brittany's
to that.
taking
You know what
you
I was doing.
Brittany will take you to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the game.
You know what? At this point, I don't care. Like, you don't need to spend $500.
You know what
on
she
my
should
birthday.
take you to? Soroki's.
Yeah, just give me that.
Give me a little Soroki's.
Just give me
Chicken
that
and
real
pizza,
quick.
They got honey biscuits.
Just real
Soroki's
quick.
does have the crispy chicken and pizza, and you know what? If you told me you would give me some signature wings for my birthday, I wouldn't have a problem with that, especially some of those lemon pepper. With the real fans' favorite, that is Soroki's, the signature wings. They will be here, but only for a limited time. I know it sounds like I've been saying that for a while, but I promise you, blink. It's All-Star Game weekend. It's a perfect time to get some wings. I keep telling you, set yourself up, set your crew up, invite your people over, have a good time, and make sure Soroki's, make sure they take care of it.
There you go.
Soroki's, man.
Short
And
commercial break. There you
Crispy biscuits with honey.
go. There you go.
There we
The read's
go.
done.
But
Keep
no,
going.
I want to go to the Breslin. I think that could be fun. Haven't been in a long time.
Mass, let's do that.
I'll try my best. Tough
My man.
ticket, man.
Tell them you're taking alumni.
Hey, my daughter,
Of sorts.
my wife, my mother-in-law will be at that game tonight. So they're
That would be a good one to be at.
I almost thought about hopping in the car and going to meet them. I just might tonight. I just might hop in the car and go out to East
Let me
Lansing.
know if
and
you
meet
need the co-pilot.
Tom Masway, I would be terrible if I would be remiss if I didn't say this. Today is the anniversary of
Oh my God!
There
It's
you go.
35 years ago today, folks.
Oh boy.
It's the shot heard round the world.
47-1.
Buster James, Buster
Look at this,
Douglas,
guys.
James Buster
still
Douglas,
Look at this.
knocking out
There
the
it
great,
is.
the great
1,
Mike
2,
Tyson.
3, 4.
Bam!
Why is it so hard to watch even though I know what's going to happen?
Because we were such Tyson
Listen,
fans.
watch him try to pick up his mouthpiece.
Right,
this was the
pick up
worst
the
part.
mouthpiece does it.
yeah,
picking up
picking
the
up
mouthpiece.
the mouthpieces, yeah.
With his glove, sticking it in there, and it is pause. It is all over.
My dad was sick when this
Two things
happened.
about this. Thing one, Tyson still managed to make it to his feet after that onslaught of punches. And thing two, Tyson knocked Buster Douglas down in the third or fourth round, and we counted it. Like, it's the infamous knockdown.
Yeah.
The count lasts 14
13,
seconds.
yeah, 14 seconds.
Even if you cut off 3 seconds, it's still 1
Listen.
second over. Even if you cut off, anyway.
I heard about that fight.
Don King cheated.
And I'm mad that I didn't get to watch that fight. I was working in New York City at the time. I was closing. I was a bar manager, so we closed 4 a.m. Time I get in my car, it's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm driving home, and I'm listening to the radio, and it comes on that Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. And I could not wait to see the replay on HBO, which I did. And then it's got a great 30 for 30, guys. I forgot the name of it.
47-1.
Is it called 47-1?
47-1.
It's an hour.
49-1.
It's fantastic.
49-1
49-1.
49-1, Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson. I'm gonna watch it for sure tonight again on it streams on ESPN Plus. So that's one of the biggest upsets in boxing history.
Ricky, every time I watch that fight, I think you were kind of going there. It's like when I watched the 87 Bird steals the ball or the 88 Phantom foul.
Yeah.
I watched that game thinking there's going to be a different outcome.
Right, you want
Like-
it so bad.
Like I can mentally change the past somehow.
Not
and that
Tyson.
one, seeing him go down to Buster's the same deal.
It never gets easier. I don't even think I was alive when that happened. And
Hey, Randall Smalls
I
on the
was
chat said, my dad told me to sell everything and bet on Douglas. I told him he was crazy.
Wow.
Rando, you could have been rich, man.
That'd have been
My dad
like
called-
buying
I think-
in on Bitcoin 10
My
years
dad
ago.
kind of called that
Everything,
loss.
and this sounds crazy to say because you never think losing can help you, but everything happens for a reason. I think if Tyson would have won that fight, it would have led to his demise. Like, he legitimately was coked out like that whole night.
I'm
before the
pretty
fight.
sure he had a demise after that
But
anyway.
but the difference is he was able to recover. The Mike Tyson that we see now, like everything that he's been
I get what you're saying.
He was going to recover anything.
We don't know.
He had a lot worse before that fight.
I get
I'm
what
just
you're saying.
but like when somebody wins and you do, like sometimes people are crying out for help. Like you going to coach before fights, you on an all-night bender thinking you're going to get this. Like I'm crying out for help. My wife is like trying to take all my money. Not my owner, but my manager just passed away. My promoter just passed away. I'm stuck with Don King. Sometimes people cry out for help. And if the signs happen, you can pay attention. Somebody helps him. Going to jail, reset his life.
If there was anybody who was crying for help at that point in their career, it was absolutely Mike Tyson. And it is great to see that Mike Tyson has reclaimed his name and is loved once again.
Who's to say?
Just remember, he could have knocked out and should have knocked out Jake Paul.
That's true.
I want you to know that.
Right,
He pulled so
But that
many
was-
punches,
that was
man.
I just want you to know
That
that.
was
fake.
planned.
All right? He got his money. I'm happy for him.
Yep.
And I'm happy to see that he's successful now. And I hope he's happy inside because, how do you not love the guy?
Yeah, his podcast is dope. Who knows what Mike Tyson we would have today without that
He's
moment.
still stupid.
And Jake Paul didn't die because he might have if
yeah,
he
he
wasn't
would've
pulling
died.
punches.
Nah, he might have, man.
yeah.
Pete, what you got going on tonight, man? You
Tonight,
watching these Pistons, man? You gonna dive in a little bit?
I'm gonna probably watch some Pistons and then
Okay.
do some storm prep just in case before I get
Storm
home.
prep.
Because we're
Storm
expecting
prep.
like
Now,
This guy's like an old lady. Listen to Pete. You know what he told me before? I got to prep for the storm
man.
tomorrow. Here's what he tells me. I got to get gas. I'm like, how much gas you got? He's like, a half a tank. I'm like, what do you need gas for?
You
He's
never
like, if I
know.
get stuck in traffic in the snow,
You
I
never
gotta go
know.
get bread and water and milk. I feel like I'm talking to my mother.
hey, our mothers and fathers were correct.
Right.
We need to learn from them.
My God.
Pete,
He's like, what are you going to do tomorrow for the storm? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to wake up and go to work.
I'm coming to your house, Pete.
Dude, I got some errands to run, baby. We gotta get some errands
Pete's
done.
going to hunker down.
Pete, tonight I will be playing a game system far superior to the Atari 2600,
Which is?
the Gemini.
Ooh, nice, baby.
I figured that would piss him off.
No, I love the. I love.
He's
all
had-
I
gaming
just
systems.
learned about the Coleco Gemini over the last week, which was a knockoff of the Atari 2600, which they were then sued by Atari, but they came to an agreement to be a licensor of Coleco's Atari-styled.
Hey, shout out to Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's on the chat. Let's go
Kool-Aid,
Pistons.
what up,
Hey,
Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid's going to he's going to the
Of course he
All-Star
is.
game this weekend.
That's what's
Yo,
up.
oh man, it's at the
Kool-Aid!
Chase. It's
Where
at
is
the
it?
Chase. It's at the Chase,
It's in
right?
Golden State.
Nice, good for him, man.
Shout out to Kool-Aid in the chat, man. I'm glad you get a chance to get
I
out,
think he's
man.
taking
Spread
baby
the win.
Kool-Aid with him.
Oh, he is?
I think he is.
Okay. Well, get out and have some fun for us, man, because we're going to be
Kool-Aid's
bunkered down
kid's
with
got a
snow.
Twitter account.
It's snowing Saturday and Sunday this week, by
You
the
ever
way.
been to an NBA All-Star game outside? Well, I don't think.
I've been to the one at.
Either of us was alive.
I've been
Was
to the
it
one in
1980?
Jersey at Brendan Byrne Arena.
Okay.
Larry Bird MVP.
I went 05 because I was training in Denver for the draft, and the All-Star game was in Denver, so I went 05. It was real cool to see the Pistons come out all four, how they subbed them into the game. Like I was sitting maybe like 4 rows up, so I'm like, it's funny. Like when you see yours outside of Detroit, it gives you that feeling.
Yes.
Like Ryan said something talking about local reporters. When you see them nasty, like Mitch Albom and Mark Champion. Like when I saw them, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you see Detroit and Denver. That's
right.
And then Chauncey's from Denver. So but I went to that one. The next year was in Houston. Lackluster All-Star 7. That was the first time I met Michael Jordan. And then 07, the All-Star game in Vegas. When they were shooting up, like the All-Star game and all this stuff was happening, I was like, All-Star game's not for me. I'd rather go to the Super Bowl. It's more corporate. Like the parties it's a different level to it. The people that come out the All-Star games, I'm okay.
So we went in 03
I'm all good.
for the Wizards Jordan All-Star game.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
Did Mariah Carey perform?
we were staying at the Airport Marriott in Atlanta, right?
Okay.
That same weekend,
another-
as the All-Star game, there was the National Rodeo Championships,
Interesting.
the National Flower Convention,
Okay.
and the Players Ball.
Ooh.
My father has a photo with Don Magic Juan.
Hey, I was just
But I'm
about
going to
to
tell
ask.
you, the lobby, watching
I
these
can
women
only
in their
imagine.
pantsuits, these cowboys in their
All
10
this at the same
gallons,
time?
everybody in their throwback jerseys, and then the pimps It was unbelievable because the Pimp States probably weren't dressed properly for the airport Marriott lobby.
They better not be.
When the pimp's in the crib, man.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. No, shout out to the Michigan State Fairgrounds. They used to do a rodeo back in the day. I actually used to like go with my dad. I was young. This is like the 80s.
Rodeo's something else, man.
Don't tell anybody I told you.
Yeah.
That. You know what time it is? It's 4.
It's overtime.
How?
We made it to 4.
So quick.
We made it 4. Look, man, everybody, I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in to A Millionaire with a Mask. Thank you to my co-host, Anson Wells. Always does a phenomenal job. And thank you for bringing in that Sports Illustrated. That was pretty great. Ricky, great to have you in the show,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Another
Good to
one
be
in the
here.
books, Tom Masway. I love the Red Wings. Love you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
And then my man, Peace by Back.
Gotcha, buddy.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Woodward Sports Network.